Gosh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another question and answer night with our beloved developers, Mr. Bossinator, Pinna, and Plants 10,000, and Star and Set. Well, there's a lot of them, actually. Have
I'm
I left
here.
anyone out?
Hello.
Oh, hello. Azazel is back.
Azazel.
All right.
Also, Mario's here.
Yeah, okay, there's a lot of
Hello.
people here. This is an official event now.
Yeah, we have like 20 plus people, I think.
Yep.
This is insane.
Yeah, for
That's
the
insane as
record,
me.
I'm working right now, so if there are any questions towards me, I might reply with a delay.
All right, so just a quick
Hold on.
rundown. Bossinator is our animator. He is responsible for mechanic. Pinna is our artist. He is very cool. Plants 10,000 makes levels. Star and Seb is balancing. And Azazel is an escaped convict.
It's true.
I have to deal with you guys' Twitter comments or whatever. Just like,
Oh yeah, Melee is also here. Melee handles
Hello.
community interaction besides, stuff like this.
surprisingly, I haven't gotten any horny misinformation comments. So thank you guys. You guys are behaving well. I like to read up on Twitter and on Blue Sky.
You
have
probably
that,
shouldn't
not
have
gonna
said
lie.
that because people are gonna send them to you right now.
Yeah, you should not have said
No,
that.
no, please.
You've
Okay,
opened the
anyway.
floodgate.
You fool!
There's already been one. It's not really a question, but it's more like an inquiry. If you were to be forced to only use mobile to compose your music, what DAW would you be using? And how good would you think the results will be as opposed to your traditional computer method? If I was forced to compose music on mobile, I would quit. I have nothing to say about that. I am not the guy to ask about mobile DAWs. I just don't use them. I don't know how that would even work. I know there are programs like DAWs that exist on mobile. I think maybe GarageBand is a mobile.
If
Has
you have
like
an
a mobile.
If you have an
alternative.
Apple device, you can use GarageBand.
Yeah, but I do heavily recommend at least getting a laptop or something just for your own convenience.
I like the response. You would just quit, like on the spot.
Yeah, I would
I
not
mean-
do that.
Dankus started on GarageBand, I think, so it's not a bad program to like store things out to see if you like it, but use a laptop or use a computer.
For me, it's just the fact that if I was unable to, number one, use my mouse, and number two, use the short. Okay, who here has Talking Tom enabled?
It was Bill. I muted him
Oh, what the
already.
hell,
All
bro?
right,
Who has like
What the hell button?
because that was repeating in a higher pitch as well. That was all right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Second thing, as I was saying, I will not be able to survive without my shortcuts. The shortcuts cut so much time during music production. Having to well, you can't even right click on mobile. You would have to hold for the other option. Yeah, I would not want to do that. My friend asks how your day's been and also what your favorite PvZ game is. My day's been pretty great. I'm taking a bit of a vacation from things. And second thing, what my favorite PvZ game is, well, obviously it's PvZ2 because nothing else could even come close considering how much of a time sink I poured into this one.
same? It wasn't PvZ match. That one is peak. That was the best PvZ game out there. This doesn't even come. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion on that because I've never played it.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's just
We
like
got quite a few questions already, and this one is really interesting for you, PMX. From Dr. Infinito, he asks, how long did the April Fool's 2025 dialogue take to make?
Around 4 days. And that
4 days.
Yeah, and that's not just me writing. The way we did it is the idea was always there from the beginning, even after April Fool's 2024 released and kind of had how do I say it? It was kind of controversial in terms of people liking it or not liking it. I felt kind of bad. I was like, you know, it didn't really land with the intended impact. And so I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if for the next April Fools we had a character come on and just talk one-on-one with the player and talk about the previous year and how it didn't land and how things have been in the meantime. And then that kind of spiraled into the idea of, what if the character is there talking to you for an unreasonable amount of time, like about that and about everything else, just wasting your time? And once that idea was established, I said, like, hey, everyone who wants to participate, just contribute random topics. Just write out random topics, and I'll try to weave them into the entire conversation once it's finalized. That's why you have random non sequiturs like the rant about Team Fortress 2. I don't even play Team Fortress 2. I never have. I know, I'm guilty of great sin, but that rant came from one of our devs, and I just found a way to, like, put it in the middle of what was already there. So you had kind of, like, how much? Like, about 10 of those rants by random devs, and then I just put a bunch of those rants around, as well as, like, filling in my own stuff, and obviously having those, like, Wikipedia jokes in there as well. It was just a matter of, you know, once we had the idea of how to do it, there's, like, no easy way. You have to sit down, you have to write it out, and for most of it, I just did it in the way of, like, I just write one random sentence and continue from there, just, like, turn my brain off and just let my mind come up with the stupidest things it could be followed up with.
To add to it, Infinito says that ending it on the best vanilla Pinata Party was peak. And we did specifically pick up that Bong Choi versus Explorer Party simply because we wanted to, after the entire dialogue, like 40 or 50 minutes of dialogue, you would just play this infuriating party all of a sudden.
I had the idea of, like, you know, you have this huge, like, dialogue scene, and what do you get rewarded with? You get rewarded with the worst Pinata Party perhaps that ever aired. And what's extra funny about that is you can't tell that it's that Pinata Party because the graves don't spawn until the dialogue is over. So it hits you like a truck as soon as you finish all of it and see those graves spawning. If you know the Pinata Party, you know.
I remember the morning that the Pinata Party, like, launched over here, and it was just like, I remember seeing so many memes of both people that didn't know what the Pinata Party was and thought we just, like, made a horrible one on purpose, and the people who knew what we just did, and they were like, you sons of a bitch.
I remember being like, no, not this one!
I remember this one, like, speed meme that was like, this one was like, skip, yeah, when does this shit get good? It's just, like, cuts out to the preview of the zombie. It's just like, shit.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
want to play PvZ
I
from
mean,
the start.
I made it kind of clear.
Flashbacks.
I made it kind of clear in some previous discussions on this server, but I think April Fools actively should annoy the player, and, like, actually make their days, like, a little bit more inconvenienced, because the people who kind of get mad at the April Fool's content being, like, annoying and tedious, like, yeah, that's what we wanted. Like, this is the one time in the year that we can actively make stuff that is purposely annoying, just to be funny. And that sounds very mean-spirited, but what can I do? What can I say? It really is funny. You see people getting really angry over it, and yeah.
And you know what's worse? It's like people do it for a reason. Like, I think for the first April Fools, we literally have costumes that you could not get otherwise. And then it's like, I think the second one, there actually wasn't really that much incentive outside, like, the rewards. And then I guess for this third one, it was technically just talking to Douglas, because I think we all miss him.
That is kind of strange. I don't know about the effect that Douglas had in this entire talk, it's not really what I intended, but it's equally as funny. Because while I was writing him, I was kind of writing him to purposely be a little bit of a creep. Like, he says some pretty unhinged things in there. And I wanted it to be kind of like, when you're reading it, you're just kind of thinking to yourself, like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, you have him literally confess his love to the player, like, 2 or 3 separate times, and it just gets completely glossed over, while making, like, the most uncomfortable long silence between misinfo, him, and the reader.
That did make for us like pretty much completely spoiling Assault Earthspace without anybody noticing. The much funnier. No one would take it seriously. That was the best fucking thing in the entire event.
Let's leave that. Let's leave that for later, because
verbatim.
If I get into the Assault Airspace foreshadowing, we're gonna be here for a very long time. I have to save that topic for later, because there's more questions I gotta address first.
Yeah, PeaMix.
Yeah, you got a lot of questions to go through.
Let's leave a pin on that, but
there are 111 plus new messages in the span of 10 minutes, so let me just...
Don't worry. I have all the questions written up here in Notepad, and the next one comes from the weirdly named Ultimate Loser. Will Yeti get loot box reworks? They constantly give me power-ups I never use.
Honestly, not the question for me. I would like that. It's just a matter of, can we change it?
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's see. The next one is from Ghosty. This is for the balance team. What was the mindset behind giving a majority of plants buffs and barely giving out any nerfs?
Well, I'm not exactly the closest with balance at this time, because as I've mentioned before, I used to be. Now I just kind of let other people handle it. I have a lot on my plate beside balance. But I do understand the direction, and I do support it. The reason it's majorly buffs is, I think it may be because of something I said in a voice chat privately in our development server. I said that I kind of came to the realization that perhaps the reason a lot of the cognitive dissonance between our like plant balancing and a lot of our player base comes from the fact that some plants are serviceable but feel like they're a little bit lacking. And I said it to the effect of, and this is literally what I said, we have the problem of plants being a bit stinky. Like, they're not bad, they're just a bit stinky, they need to get a shower. Like, they're all, how do I say it? They're all fine, but they could hit harder, and I think the reason a lot of, a lot of people don't jive with some of the plant rebalances is because they just don't feel as hard-hitting as they used to. So I was just like, let's try and attempt a new direction. Let's try and address every single plant that doesn't get picked often, even though it's technically fine, and let's see if we can push it into the territory of being satisfying.
Okay.
Tava respondendo a pergunta lá do mod.
PeaMix, question. Do you think Elder Hailstorm would make a return in the future, or no?
If we see a place fit for it, we don't really plan stuff like that ahead. It's just like, if we have an idea for him, then yeah, but we don't want to bring him back just to bring him back. There has to be a reason.
Like Feastives, or like a special Frostbite Caves quest, not Resurgence quest. Like,
all right,
we like our, like,
hold on. I
NPCs
need
and
to
stuff.
see if Ghosty said anything about my response, because I'm still looking at the like older questions before I move on to the next one.
Well, yeah, we definitely don't want to bring back NPCs just because funny. We want to bring them back with a little bit of a reason, some theming behind it. It's just we don't want to be like, oh, here's like General Camo back because hell yeah, we need to have a reason, like a little bit of a plot, some theming behind it.
Yeah, so the reason is always because we have an idea. It's never because we just want to. Like, sure, Elder Hailstorm is cool. I really like him, but that shouldn't be the sole reason why he should be brought back.
We have like plot ideas. We have sort of like an ongoing plot, I guess you could say, that we kind of base our sort of like why do we bring back this NPC and stuff. But anyway, it's just mostly because let's do this because we think it's fun.
Okay, the next question is from Millie, I think, right?
Yes. The question is, where did the idea to revive the Meteor C launch from the original holiday mashup come from? Was it just an easy existing idea to go along with the fact that the contest winners were heroes themed?
I don't exactly remember because I wasn't a part of that discussion. I do know that a big part of it was wanting to make something new for the quest of the hero contest winners. And I think it just kind of naturally spawned into, oh, we could do Meteor Z, and then we could, reuse the holiday mashup kind of lawn, but make it, official. And I saw that idea while it was already, decided upon, and I was like, alright, I think I can do something interesting here. Because this isn't, a full-on world, I can't dedicate full-on resources to it in terms of music, so I'll see if I can just remake my old Space Odyssey theme to fit it, and I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, because also keep in mind we had like a lot of relevant stuff just kind of stacking up on top of each other while we were doing a Solar Earth Space. It was just like there was so much stuff to do because we just had to constantly keep on working on stuff because it was just so much. It was like the Big Wave Beach quest, it was the Meteor Sea quest, it was like a bunch of penny challenges as well, which was small stuff. It was a bunch of events, like limited time events. It was just there was so much more.
I'm not just a music dev. I do other stuff besides music, so I didn't really have the time and resources to make a fully original Meteor Z thing. But I honestly think it's for the better. I kind of like it being Space Odyssey, but new. Anyway, I'll get back to that later if there's more questions on it, because I know it's an interesting topic, but let me get to the important questions that I skipped, such as, did Zombert ever eat a raw egg live on stream? And, he will do that. Yes, he will definitely do that.
You heard it here first, folks.
Today. I'm gonna eat this raw egg. Make sure to have your bits ready, cause it's gonna be lit.
He probably
right.
got
subscribe to Twitch.
He probably got 5 subs and then the message was, can you eat a raw egg, and then he just did it.
Eat the deviled egg.
Quiet down.
Eat the second deviled egg.
All right, next one.
Okay, so is the next one Meteor Z team?
Yeah, it says, will Meteor C theme have the individual extended version like Eric did with the Assault Airspace?
Depends. I don't really like to do extended versions anymore, specifically because if I ever decide to maybe touch up some of the older tracks, then I would have to scrap all the extended versions and replace them with new ones. So it's kind of more of a contingency. It's not something I've ever done yet. It's something that I may do in the future, but only to non-iconic songs, or just to fix up mixing a little bit, just kind of stuff like that. I don't really want to do it. It's just a matter of if I get there and think it maybe would be worth it, just in case. And another thing is, with extended music, it's just kind of boring to make. It's really easy to make, don't get me wrong. It's just a bit tedious, and I mean, I guess I could do it if the demand is strong enough. Because I mean, technically, it's just free views. What's the next one?
Give me a moment, because there's so many fucking questions. Holy moly, you guys are dying for information. Okay, the next one is from Witherman. What was the main deciding factor on adding Sky City as Assault Airspace, even when before you said you wouldn't?
you know how we kept saying, please don't request Sky City. It's impossible to do well. Like it's impossible to translate well. We were not lying. We were not lying. You could not do Sky City properly without it being like really, really janky. Until, and this is very important, we had very specific people on the team and tech that got developed specifically to make this happen. The reason it happened is because mainly one of our coders, Jay Crow, just wanted to do something cool. Jay Crow was a big fan of Sky City and had the coding knowledge to make it happen. And once all of the internal logistics were handled, we were just like, all right, I guess you can do that now. And then we just went ahead and did it. But because the reputation was already that you couldn't do it, we thought it would be funny to just keep it secret so that, you know, we could do so much funny stuff and nobody would ever expect it when it drops. That's mainly how it happened. We weren't lying, and honestly, I'm gonna be perfectly honest here. When we were approached with like, hey, we can do Sky City, do you guys want to do Sky City? Initially I didn't want to do it because I don't really have many, you know, like personal attachments to that world. Like, it's not something I wanted to particularly develop, but a lot of our devs were actually on board with it, and once I suggested tying it into General Camo's backstory, that's how all of it clicked. And once I managed to figure out how to fit General Camo into it, that's when I got on board.
I would say though, a Solar Earth space has been quite the undertaking. No joke, we've been working at this for like a year and like probably a year and a half. Like in terms of like kind of making stuff like kind of making the early concepts, testing out stuff on like coding mostly, and then actually doing the work. But it's been like a long journey towards. I think we started the development of like Sky City while we were still doing like Caligna's Carnival Part 1. I think we were already doing
the
something
plans were there. I don't think the actual development started until Caligna's Carnival Act 1 release, but the plans were there, and like the discussions of how we would, you know, execute different things about it.
And I think J. Crow was like testing out some stuff while we were like finishing.
Oh yeah,
out
J. Crow
the
definitely he absolutely carried. He absolutely carried Assault Airspace.
If you guys ever see him in like the chat, just say, "Oh my God, you're a god." Because he is a god. He's a magician. I don't know how he does it.
He coded most things in that world.
I think I gave him praise for like every single bit of it. Like, that was genuinely impressive to see.
The thing is, right? He just did it. We didn't even ask him to do it. He was just offering us like, "Hey, I want to do Sky City. Can I do Sky City?" And you know, that's kind of how it started. So
we kind of just saw the idea.
Sky City was written to us in his last will.
It just be like really funny because we've been saying forever, no, we're not doing Sky City, and then just to suddenly shadow drop it.
I mean, even at the time when he suggested it, we were to him like, no, we don't want to do it, like for various reasons. But eventually, we got convinced that it was a good idea.
I also like on how at the same time it satisfies all the people that actually wanted Gatling.
Yeah, now there is no more. Can there please be Sky City and Reflourished? Can there please be Gatling being Reflourished? We got rid of that.
Yeah, and so now we're getting. Can you add Kung Fu World, please? World Kung Fu.
Yeah, we'll see what the next one is.
The way Gatling came to be was also quite a funny story.
Anyway, can we go on to the next question? There's way too many messages.
Yeah, there's way too many questions. The next one is from Mitch from RFL. Will the NPCs have solidified voices? Because they can talk full sentences like Sambas, and some of their dialogue, Lucky and Greedy, have access to it.
Well, there is someone who actually did voice all the NPCs. I don't remember their name, but I will probably give credit once I upload. those are actually pretty close to what we envisioned them sounding like. In terms of like canonical voices, I don't think we'll be doing any voice acting ourselves, but if you want something close, there's already something out there.
If you want headcanon voices, do it yourself. Upload your fan headcanon voice or something if you want to do like BA stuff. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool
like
to see it.
the accents and sound effects they already have are kind of like leaning towards what it's supposed to sound like. All right, next question. Chop chop.
Yep. The next question is from a regular Big Joke. What's your favorite track that you've composed so far?
I cannot say. I cannot say because it's for something down the line. But in terms of what is out there, that's my favorite. I honestly have to say, if it's just one specific track, probably Collisionist Carnival Midwave B. Just because that one was such a big departure from what I usually do, but I think it adds to the atmosphere very nicely. It's the only individual track in which the BPM changes during itself. And not only that, it's also one of the only tracks that completely dismisses traditional harmony and just goes for something scary and eerie sounding. Like it's the most
We're gonna kill you.
experimental. Yeah, it's the most experimental one, and I wanted it to sound kind of like a broken down roller coaster ride.
Oh, was that the one that was like dun, 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 or was the other one? I forgot.
That the motive, the leitmotif that you just sung is like present in nearly half the waves.
Dude.
I think the one that Melee did specifically just now is from Midwave A.
Yeah, probably. The BPM sounds kind of similar. Anyway, next question. Chop chop.
Yep.
We gotta.
Next question is from Gold. Are there any plans or interest to add more original zombies for holidays, like Fishy Imp or how Lunar New Year got all their 2C exclusive content ported?
Not particularly. The dev that ports those zombies just kind of does it because they want to, and we're fine with that. So, hey, if more appear, more will appear. There aren't exactly plans set in place. We have much bigger things to worry about than that.
All right, cool. Next one is from Fargo. Do you think fallen technology is more fit for a world or in Epic Realm? Mainly because people are saying that fallen tech should be an Epic Realm, and I happen to disagree with that mindset.
Well, I will say that in terms of my custom worlds, for a lot of them, I can see it going either way. I would say that my preference would be, world, if we ever decide to go with that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's not really up to me, and our future plans are quite big and quite, prone to change. So, hey, we thought Sky City could never happen, and that got proven wrong, so even if I did say something, it probably would get outdated. Who knows?
True.
We also have to consider scope when we're making Epic Realms versus making a world.
Yeah.
And we've already discussed this internally quite a few times, because Sky City, well, Solar Space, is sort of the outlier for Epic Realms. We're not gonna do that kind of scope for Epic Realm anymore, because it was just for the one-time joke of just shadow dropping it. The next Epic Realms are gonna be, I'd say, bigger than Hypothermic Hollows, but they're not gonna be as big as Sky City.
They're gonna they're gonna be like Assault Airspace in terms of, it's kind of like this brand new thing. Like Hypothermic Hollows isn't really typical in terms of theming. It's kind of like forking off of Frostbite Caves. The other ones are also going to be forking off of existing worlds, but they're going to have unique theming like Assault Airspace. However, and this is a big however, they're not going to be introducing as many new things as Assault Airspace did. No 5 plants, no unique boss fight, I mean, maybe there will be some unique boss fights depending on how much we can handle, but my point stands. Like, there's not gonna be unique, brand new gimmicks that need coding, kind of like a Soul Airspace had to be. What we're planning currently is that Epic Realms are gonna be forks of existing gimmicks. So kind of like how in Hyperthermic Hollows, instead of just sliders, you have sliders that change direction. Other Epic Realms are gonna take kind of existing game mechanics and like add twists to them instead of just being fully original things. Like with Assault Airspace having a fully original gimmick of clouds and the shield.
Question: Are there going to be any future bosses like Blade Wheel?
Oh, you cut out.
You gotta
Cut out.
Wait, is there going to be like blade wielding hero for Lunar Zoo or Kung Fu World?
That is a very specific question. If you're asking specific questions, we're either gonna say we don't know because we haven't planned, or we can't say because if we did plan it and it doesn't matter if you're correct or not correct. We can't say that.
Okay.
So try to keep questions a bit more open-ended than like, oh, is this event gonna have this zombie from that thing? Anyway,
But
next
not too
question.
personal.
Chop chop.
Next question. Yes, next question. And it is one of my favorite ones so far. From Professor K. Stupid question. Favorite holiday and why? I'm gonna forward this to every dev here. PMX, you start. Favorite holiday.
In terms of like the game, like favorite holiday in the game.
I guess so. From Reflourished.
Lawn of Doom. I just like Halloween. That's really all there is to it. And I think the Halloween drinks are really funny.
My favorite has to be Heroes or HeroCon, simply because it just appeared one day as an advertisement for Heroes, and then it suddenly just vanished, and we never saw it again. And for the longest time, as a what was I, like 15, 16-year-old at the time, I was so amazed by that for no fucking reason. So when Holiday Matchup 1 brought it back, I was like, whoa, that's cool. Anyway, that's my answer.
I think if I had to answer, it's probably birthdays. I think I kind of like the concepts of birthdays a whole lot. It just always like tickles me a lot. Like I like the idea of it. Also, like a majority of the zombies are the presents. We have like literally Code Mech that's just like, it's literally a present. We have like Jetpack. We have Barrel Roller that are presents. We have like Pharaoh that's a cake. Jester's here. There's even like I find it funny that in the trailer where it's like we see the birthdays event, he's literally just getting pummeled by a whole bunch of clans because like the whole setup was a trick. Like, you guys remember that trailer?
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
It's
It
the
was like-
original, the Vanilla Birthdays trailer where Jester gets trapped in the house.
Oh
and
yeah, I
all the
remember that
plans-
one. They
Yeah,
reran that one for like 3 years in a row.
Yeah. And then, like, here's the thing. It's like, they also got their own presence, but, like, what I love the most is, of course, the combo with, like, Troglobite, where, like, you can just stuff the zombies inside of there, and then Troglobite can push it forward, pretty much. Like, there's even, like, gimmicks to maybe you can stop it with other grid items, and you can, like, hide stuff like, glitter in there, like maybe Boombox to push it forward, maybe Jester, just in case people try to open up the presents using projectiles. And there's just like a bunch of combos that I think help. That's like, it turns the game from like some sort of thing where you need to immediately deal with the zombies, where they're like a building pressure. Like, I think that's why I really like it.
Alright, I see that someone said let me backlog the questions, and I don't think I've seen any one of these, so let me just speed run through all of them.
Easy. So yeah, if I had to say for like favorite event to like be quick so we can get to the next question. Summer Nights. I like the theming. It's just like I like the lawn. I like that PvZ kind of took the we're gonna make it like a night barbecue theme for like summer. It's so creative because most like summer themed events on like video games are like, oh, it's daytime and it's like the beach and it's like super bright sunlight, and a PvZ is like, oh, it's like a chill night, like having drinks, cooking some sausages. It's really creative. I just like the theming.
Isn't it also more kind of like 4th of July theming with the fireworks?
Kinda, yeah. I like it. I like the Gargantua a lot. I like the I think on PC here's like in the grill. I really like that Gargantua. It has such a cool design.
All right, now I gotta
The
move
lightning bug
on.
is also
Wait,
I gotta
wait.
move to the next
Yeah,
one.
let's move.
All right, are you all
I have
happy
to
with
move on.
holiday hyperthermic hollows from Voider? Honestly, I think it's fine, and I saw the other part of the question, which is if we plan on changing it. No, it's done. We made it. We gotta do new stuff. Will older music be used in Reflourished? What do you mean by older music? Hold on, is there more context to this? Older music.
I
As
think
in,
what they
like-
mean is by
Will some of
content
your
you made.
oh wait I found it. Will some of your
Oh.
other older music be used on Reflourished since Meteor Z did that? Well, there is always the possibility. You know, it depends. There's not many good things that I did like 5+ years ago. Space Odyssey is like where I started getting good. So
What do you
I
mean,
guess
Happy
it
World?
depends heavily.
Happy World is so good. It's the best music
Yeah,
that you've ever.
it's Happy Land. It's Happy Land.
Happy-
You gotta get it right.
I forgot about this.
Right.
Fake fan. God damn it.
Could Fallen Tech be an epic realm? I already answered that one. Will there be more original zombies? I answered that one. Do you think 100 men could beat a gorilla? Oh man, I had a visceral discussion with someone the other day about this.
Sun versus 1 trillion lions. Go and put your answers in the.
I think it heavily depends on how organized the 100 men are. I think gorilla has a better chance, honestly. What instruments were used in Collisionist Carnival and Meteor Z? A lot of them. If I were to sit here and run down every single one, we would be here for 2 hours. But a
There's
lot
like
of them.
20 sound layers. There's like 20 sound layers. It's insane. There's so much stuff.
There's
and
a
it just-
lot that goes into these. Favorite track you've composed? I think I already answered this one. Will NPCs have actual I answered that one. What was the deciding factor to add assault airspace? Kind of answered this one as well. Mostly J-Crow. Will Meteor Z have an extended version? Also answered that one. Where did the idea to reuse the Meteor Z lawn from the original Holiday Mashup come from? I think I also answered this one. And yeah, lootable rework. Okay, I handled all of those. Genuine questions from Lemon Gang. With the fact you guys are making Epic Quest and Premium Quest different things, I want to know if a world could get both. Like Frostbite Caves got hyperthermic hollows, but could it get a Premium Quest, or could Big Baby get an Epic Realm despite having Lemon's Quest? Probably not. Probably not. And most worlds aren't even going to get an Epic Realm. Epic Realms are mostly going to be stuff like Assault Airspace that's just like kind of mini worlds, but not really worlds in themselves. They're kind of in a gray area. Assault Airspace is the closest to breaking out into being a full-on world, but it's still technically not. It's still a mini world.
Yeah, original theming mostly, but just like toned down mechanics. We're not gonna be like as big as like an actual world. Like
Much
Carnival.
smaller in scope. Who wrote the "You're so sexy, birth my children's" line in April Fool's 25? That is actually from a copypasta that originated in our dev server, and that copypasta, if you remember, contains the names of every single NPC from Reflourished. And it's about this guy having a bad time in high school. So I just threw that in there and made it so it's Douglas's bad time in high school. Alright, plants, I think you have a better grasp of the questions still out there.
I'll be honest, I kind of got lost in there, but I'll try to see. I still got a ton of questions here, and I removed some of the ones that you answered already. So let's see here. I'm gonna put this one first because this one I answered to it earlier, but Boston there really wants to answer this one. It's from Pyre Cattle is Meta. Okay. Also, for the production of Collision's Carnival as a whole so far, did you run into any issues with art and animating, like mechanic causing Steam Images Part 2 to be delayed?
Oh my god. Boss,
So-
you take a stage.
Yeah, boss, this is your question. Go on.
Yeah, it is. So, well, Honestly, most of the problems were not exactly Reflourished related. I was on a heavy time constraint because I'm working 2 jobs at the same time. But probably the biggest problem was the trapeze zombies, just as Plants mentioned in the chat. There were multiple reasons. I had a list compiled of all the problems, but I don't have it on me right now. So I'll try to jot down the things I remember. Well, for one, the thing had to be reanimated a couple times. There were several concepts, and generally trapeze was like the last thing to be done for Collisionist Carnival, even though it was one of the first ideas for it. Because we couldn't decide on how complex we wanted the animation to be, and I remember there were several ideas thrown around to replace trapeze, so there was I really didn't want trapeze I didn't really want trapeze to be just another swashbuckler in terms of animation. It was being done with the idea in mind that multiple zombies would be holding each other and stuff, and it was almost scrapped. And I clutched by the end of production. I had several sleepless nights just to animate the thing in a few days. And so there were several problems because, well, we ran into quite a peculiar thing where the animation would duplicate sometimes, and we couldn't figure out why. Then the hitboxes stopped working entirely. It was really weird. And because of that, I started calling the object that was responsible for the hitbox an arbitrary fuckling, and me and Rena were working together on Trapeze, and we were referring to it as an arbitrary fuckling the entire thing. I hope that I hope my swearing is fine.
I hope I don't get demonetized.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I think
apologize.
we're already 40 minutes into this Q&A. We should be fine.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
I don't know how YouTube detection works.
I wonder what's gonna be the thing that people skip to this time, because we got cooking last time.
Maybe. Anyway,
another-
I need to continue with the other questions now.
Yes, let's continue.
All right. We have from Infoman 4 different questions, right?
One of them you already answered, but yeah, there's 3 specific questions here that are very interesting. The first one, how did you guys choose which special should be part of a holiday in holiday mashup? For what reasons? The question is more regarding for specials that are added after holiday mashup.
Well, for the special set after holiday mashup, you can see that they're mostly either ports from China or just thematically relevant. So it just comes down to that. As for, in the original Holiday Mashup, a lot of it was based on Holiday Mashup 1, the mod from 2017-2018, because that's what Reflourished was supposed to be, a sequel to that mod. And that's really where kind of most of the logic came from. Number 2, when Airspace Assault development has been started, last year. Number 3, for what reason Pilot Helmet and Warhead Zombie serve in game design perspective? Is to counter canon? All right, let me sit down real quick. Let me sit down.
Oh boy.
Game design perspective is a heavy phrase, because zombies don't need to exist specifically to counter anything, right? It's kind of like you have different tools on your desk. And based on what you want to do, you take out those specific tools. Well, maybe for some reason you need a tanky zombie that doesn't have anything special to it, that's when you grab that tool, you know, when you're making the level. In other words, zombies aren't made to counter specific things in most cases. Sure, they can be made to counter specific things, but they can just exist as a tool that level designers can use when they see it, you know, fitting. An important part of zombie design is to have them fit with the gameplay mechanics of the world, because otherwise you could pretty much put zombies anywhere you wanted, and you technically can do that, but the question remains of, like, what is the best fit? So yeah, that's kind of it. If from a game design perspective, Pilot Helmet and Warhead Zombies serve the purpose of existing for level design to get more variety inside of it, so that you don't have just other pilot, you know, planes as tanky stuff. You have also the basic varieties that are tanky. Again, when it comes to zombies, when it comes to gameplay mechanics, the first priority that comes in design, if you ask me, is how can this be utilized by our level designers well? Because if our level designers want to do something and they don't have the means to do it, that's when something should be made to kind of fill that hole. Number 4, in Reflourished universe, what happened after the Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2? Is BFN canon at all? We kind of leave that stuff up in the air. But, yeah, everything that happens in other PvZ games is implied to be canon in Reflourished, and at least happened at some point. We kind of do Reflourished plot as a fork off of the existing PvZ storyline, where we just kind of add our own stuff. That's mostly been the intent. So, yeah, probably Garden Warfare 1, 2, BFN stuff did happen before Holiday Mashup and all that. I kind of see it as, you know, in the real world, PvZ2 came out first, then these other games, then PvZ2 kind of ended, but not really. And all of that stuff takes place in Reflourished kind of like after Modern Day and before Holiday Mashup. There's a much bigger time gap than it is actually kind of like in-game. It's implied that a lot of stuff happened. All of the Graveyard Onslaught stuff also happened between Modern Day and, you know, the expansions and that kind of stuff. Alright, that took a while. Let me get back on track.
Yeah, don't worry, I got questions for you to answer. And this is actually 2 questions. I'm putting them together as like 1 question because they are very similar. They're from Dr. Infinito and Teacher Beo. Infinito asks if there will be any ways for new players to learn about the NPCs and their characters, like making their introductory LTs into permanent epic quests or almanac entries. And the same question is from Biao. Will the NPCs get additional epic quests to introduce new players to them, since new players will have missed the time events?
Well, in terms of, you know, how new players are gonna get familiar with the NPCs, limited time events are planned in the future sometime. I think AB is gonna kill me for saying this, but it seems I have no choice. Will be made somehow replayable. We don't know exactly how yet, but somewhere down the line, yeah, that's probably coming. You will be able to replay LTs of previous years. And we will probably highlight, like, hey, this guy appears here for the first time. If you want to know about him, play this. You know. Anyway,
Yeah, like I use Sponge Maniac. You can like finally live your like wildest dreams. I'm like, oh my god, I can see SpongeBob again. Holy shit!
I'm gonna cover this question right now since it was just asked from the Battle Project Worshipper. Is this genuinely serious? Will Multiplicity return a future LTE?
No.
The level designer here. No.
No.
He's not returning.
He never should have returned. I never wanted him to return. It's just, it was a matter of miscommunication, alright? One person on our team thought that they could use him, and I didn't realize that he was being used, and it was too late, and when I realized that he was used, I was like, what are you doing?
Fun fact.
They made that out of anger. Never let that happen again.
Yeah, fun fact, that entire debacle was the reason why LTs took a turn after Children's Day. Actually, after Summer Nights, because Summer Nights was kind of done at that point. Some from Big Brains on, we started changing the way we did LTEs just to not make them very like painful.
Yeah,
to
leads
play
had to
through.
get involved. Before that, the leads were just like, okay, do limited time events however you want. We're just happy that we have people making handmade ones, because we used to have RNG ones. But at a certain point, it was like, alright, yeah, you guys need some rules. This cannot go on. So
just
we
like,
stepped
what the
in
hell
and
are
kind of
you guys
like
doing?
made a little bit of changes to how things are made. All right,
gonna be fun to watch, man.
there's another question. What was the biggest mistake the Reflourished made? I mean, that's kind of relative. I think the biggest, like, universally recognized blunder was the way we've handled April Fool's 24. But you said April Fool's or anything related doesn't count. So, besides that, what the biggest mistake was? I mean, technically saying, I think the biggest mistake might have been our early approach to some of the balancing. We are correcting a lot of that now, but when we got started, the mentality was a bit different. The mentality was kind of like, we cannot allow any plans to be like really, really good. Because in vanilla, the plans were very, very good. Way too good. So we kind of went a bit too far in the other direction, and now that's why a lot of the newer balance changes are more focused on buffs, because we're trying to correct from where some plans got a little bit too hard of a hit at the beginning. Although I will justify our decisions. I don't think we went too far, particularly. I think we just got too carried away. Like, some of the plans that we had to rework, I think the reworks were justified. I just think that they could have been executed better. So that's kind of what we're doing now. We are sticking to what we know has to be done, but we are questioning if this could have been executed better, and maybe thinking of like, oh well, instead of thinking of how to not make a plan too good, let's try to think of it in terms of how can we make it as possibly good as we can without it breaking anything. So yeah, that's the biggest mindset shift that happened. The first mindset was kind of like, what is the absolute highest that we can put this plant's like recharge and sun cost without it being bad? Now it's the opposite. Now it's kind of like, okay, how powerful can we possibly make it without it outshining what exists? Anyway, what would happen if General Camo was real? I don't think that would be a good world to live in.
Bombs. Bombs.
Likely.
Speaking
Not
of-
in your time.
Bombs.
Let's not do that.
Gas
Um,
wave.
Yeah. Okay, from Menace, it says PeaMix, it's me, the trolley question guy, the one who almost donetizes you, whatever the fuck that means. I'm here to ask
Thank
you
you for
again.
swearing again. I really appreciate it.
Imagine the trolley question, but if you don't pull the lever, Plant 10,000 will die, but if you pull it, Volcanic J will. You cannot kill yourself.
What?
I'm declining the
Yes.
question.
Yes, I agree. I don't know.
Will there be ways for new players to learn about the NPCs? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I got through that.
Yeah, we're
Okay. Technically OP but fun is better than technically balanced but lame. Exactly. Thank you, Pesto Sauce. You put it very well, what I was trying to say. Technically
Why the
OP
fuck
but
not?
fun is what we're doing right now. What we used to be doing is technically balanced but lame. Of course, the lame part was unintentional, but that's what happened, and now we're shifting to technically OP but fun.
We want to give players like the tools to just have fun, to just make plants fun.
Well, yeah, it's
but
kind of
without
really
breaking the game.
important. It's kind of really
Without breaking-
important that the plants are satisfying. Like, they could be the most balanced thing ever, but if they're not satisfying to use, you're not gonna want to use them. You know, that's
Like,
kind of just
maybe-
like the grim reality of it.
Like Potato Mine and Primal Potato Mine might have been like good before the balance changes. They might have been usable, but nobody used them, or at least very few
Like,
people
yeah,
used
they
them
were
because they weren't just
fine.
fun.
They were fine, and that's the
They were
thing.
fun.
Plants, most of them have to be just a little bit more than fine. They have to kind of scratch an itch instead of just doing their job.
Enticing, basically.
I do I'm responsible for the potato changes this time. For all 3 potato changes. That's me. That's me. So if you have questions about those, then ask away. But before you do, I have to catch up more. May as well ask about Epic Realms. It's been mentioned around the server that both HH and AA are kind of exceptions to the norm. HH original being a premium quest and AA being way more than normal, and the future Epic Realms will be closer to HH in size. Are future Epic Realms more likely going to be somewhere in between the two, where it's an original mini world that isn't just a second expansion like HH, but also isn't as complex as AA's? Exactly. Yes. Perfectly put. That's how they're gonna be. It's gonna be a mini world that's not just a second expansion, but also is not as complex as AA. Alright, I gotta kind of speed run through all of this. There's a lot of messages.
There's way too many questions. If you want, I can give you a
image you
random one.
posted on April Fool by Elder Hailstorm. I didn't post that, by the way. And those other NPCs, will they appear as NPCs boss? No, that was a joke. That's what's on April Fools. Devs, how does it feel that with the addition of the Great Mystery, you now have 4 wild zombies that do the same thing of hiding a metal grate sometimes? Do not diss the Great Mystery, alright? He has way more style and aura than all of those.
Oh my god, I still remember the goddamn discussion we
I
were
fought
having
with
over it.
blood,
I
sweat,
don't wanna
and
go back to
tears
that.
to keep the Great Mystery.
I'm so glad I wasn't a part of that discussion. That sounded awful.
It was
That,
awful.
that vote was
Jesus.
that vote was pretty fun though. That vote was pretty fun.
Okay, I have. Oh,
What was the
I have
mindset?
a-
All right, am I gonna?
Alright.
All right, what was the mindset of making Meteor Z into an epic quest and Big Beach Brawl as a premium quest? Meteor Z as an epic quest just kind of happened. I don't know exactly how. I think from the beginning it was meant to be an epic quest of like, oh, let's showcase the contest winners, and then we just wanted to go a bit further with the teaming and made it a whole new thing. Big Beach Brawl, on the other hand, I think originally was meant to be something more. Maybe even in the discussion of an HH-like Epic Realm, but we kind of realized there wasn't enough material for it. Nor enough time, nor enough resources, and plus we already had AA in development, so we were like, just make it a premium quest. It fits the bill. At least that's how I remember it going down. Maybe some other.
I remember it being an idea of premium quest since the very beginning. Like
I don't remember exactly, because I do remember at some point we were discussing a Big Wave Beach Epic Realm. I don't know exactly when though.
I think that was like a one-off discussion.
Maybe. Anyway, let's see. Music-related question. What is your favorite theme that you composed for Reflourished? This is like the 12th time I'm asked this question. It changes a lot based on my mood, what my favorite theme is. I don't think anything can possibly beat Holiday Mashup as like an entire team. Being able to outdo that for myself would be quite big. I do think Collisionist Carnival is on the same quality. I just have more fondness for Holiday Mashup because like it's the thing that made Reflourished really click, I think, when it released. I got another question. Why is BBB a premium quest while HH is an epic? Oh my god, this is like I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day. I'm just gonna skip over that.
This one.
His plans is collecting questions. Maybe.
Yeah, I have a ton of questions here.
All right, I just have to skip a bunch of them because they're like repeats of stuff I already answered.
Here, I'll give you a really fun one. From the Devout Torchlight Worshipper, to all the Airfield devs, if all the NPCs met in one room except some boss he is not invited, what will happen?
They would probably play a game of poker and discuss how to kill Zomboss. Probably. Hunteria would just be there kind of clueless of what's happening.
I think the wolf dog would just kind of bite the table where he's
probably,
just like,
yeah. The other guys, like the other guys, would try and plan how to take out Zomboss amongst each other, but secretly they would all be planning to backstab each other as well.
Misinformation would make the best bluffs, hands down. She would win every single round.
Probably,
the best.
yeah.
Lucky would just pull a royal flush out of his ass.
Yeah, that's right. You.
Zombert would just be invited because they think that him being related to Zomboss is gonna give them an advantage before they realize that like he is absolutely anything but an advantage.
Moron.
Slumber has
Sunbird playing poker is gonna be like,
Balatro.
yeah, Balatro.
Alright,
So
another
he's-
question. Is there any ideas for permanent game modes like similar to Penny's Challenge and Insanity in terms of scale? Or even changes to set existing game modes? Not really, no. I mean, introducing a new game mode kind of in that vein is very demanding because, again, Penny's Challenges they have to be made every week, basically. We don't want to, you know, put too much consistent strain on ourselves. I think what we have now is pretty good.
I kind
Hi,
of don't want this one to like get lost. Like, I know this isn't anything PvZ related. Oh, so this question is by Brer 3000. I know this isn't anything PvZ related, but what inspired you to work on this mod?
I mean, I got paid. That's a bit of an underwhelming question, but I got paid to make the
Wow.
holiday mashup team.
Wait,
I was
really?
commissioned.
This is stuff I didn't know, actually.
I was originally just meant to be the musician. I just got commissioned to make the holiday mashup team by PvZ AB fan, and once I did that, I was like, you know, already in the dev server, and I asked AB like, hey, can you teach me how to make PvZ2 levels? Because I always wanted to make PvZ2 levels. He did that, and then I got to making a bunch of levels, a bunch of expansion levels, and I eventually made more levels than all of the devs there. So I just kind of, you know, got involved way more than I initially planned to be involved, but it was fun. So eventually I became the co-lead dev.
You truly are greedy.
really
Reflourished.
enjoyed level design before.
What?
Oh, you really like level design, especially you're like, oh boy, I love level design, and so you asked the devs to make most of them.
We do not talk about Children's Day 2020.
I only make levels nowadays for worlds. That's it, and occasional penny challenges, because they're way too time consuming.
I only know I don't the pennies challenge. I only recognize the one you made is probably the never ending conveyor. I know it was made by you, but that's the only one I can remember.
I think he also
Still fun
made.
level.
I think the chosen one, and I think up and down chicanery. I don't
No,
know. If he made
no,
that
that's
one,
not.
but
I named up and down chicanery. I didn't make it.
But I know he made the chosen one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I made chosen one. I made never ending conveyor. I made prehistoric topsy turvy. I made terrible trio, and I think that's it. Maybe, yeah. I still have some ideas for penny challenges, but
That's it. Oh yeah.
when
The
they
chosen
when
one
they
is a very silly level. I can do. By the way, the chosen one is actually a very silly level. I cannot even lie. It's just rock punchers only, like one rock puncher wonder. I actually like the level concept there, even if it's extremely simple.
I
But it's silly,
really
whatever.
think it's one of my best. It's just a funny level that also works. Question for PeaMix: what do you think of modern active battle and demonstration minigame? Because for me, it's very wasted potential. Because if your thematic is all the worlds, why is it just 3 to 4 world instruments? Personally, when I first heard it back in 2016, I cannot lie, I was underwhelmed. I was majorly underwhelmed. I was thinking to myself like, wow, really? That's it? But you know, out of respect for vanilla integrity, we're not gonna change it because you know. As much as there are things in the game that I'm not satisfied with, I realize that our mission is to preserve the original game as much as we can while making our own unique stuff, because a lot of people don't want to play vanilla, right? And they don't want to dig for an old version of vanilla, so we just kind of want to have that as a feature for us. Like, hey, if you want to get a taste of what vanilla was like with some, you know, quality of life changes, we have that as well. Anyway, if you could choose the next NPC to get its own update, who would you choose? Who would I choose? Well, I would say who I would choose, but that's not something that I think other developers would agree with. My pick would be Greedy, because I think he deserves more appearances, but we would have to have a long discussion about that.
It's totally because the theme is like kind of Persona inspired. Don't
No, I mean
trust
it
them,
is,
guys.
but it's not because of that. It's just because Greedy is.
Don't trust them, guys.
funny.
It's
It is, but
because
it's not because
bias.
of that.
No, I'm not biased because of Persona. I'm biased because of Greedy. That's why I'm biased.
Fair enough. I'm just joking.
All right. I am still like what
You're still
40
trying to
minutes
catch up.
behind. I am 40 minutes behind on
Yeah.
the messages.
Do you want to do another speed round?
Yeah, I'll do another speed round. Just gotta find questions. Most of this is like
I got
just people talking.
questions here.
Now, let me just see. You know, I'm just gonna be scrolling down and answer as I see them. Speaking of holidays, since the hero zombies got their spirit change, will either the same patties or Halloween zombies get their spirit to something more unique, so that only one of them has the general stun resistance? Maybe. I'm not. Probably, if one of them is gonna get changed, it's probably Halloween, just because St. Patty's and stun is introduced on All Day Mashup Day 2. But,
yeah, like day
maybe.
2 is a big problem for like Luck a Zombie, so I don't think we can change that one.
All right. Okay, 6 questions. You guys gotta calm down, all right?
I agree.
Why does rally flag exist in AA? What do I say? What do I answer? I already went on an entire spiel. I mean, sometimes things are added just because they're cool. You know, why not have him there? Number 2, if it's just for insanity reasoning, then does this mean SA and CC could potentially happen? Maybe. Number 3, what was the thought process of Meteor Z to come to reality? I said this. 3.0.5, was there any plans for Meteor Z having a mini-boss team? No. I low-key expected a return of HeroCon 20 level 10, come back as Meteor Z final level. No, I already had the entire team, Ultimate Battle, minigame, and jingles, and Camel boss fight to make for the update. Please, spare. Number 4, how do you feel about your PvZ2 custom becoming in-game now? Really good about it. I think I fulfilled a life goal. Number 5, where did you get the idea of BBB? I did not get an idea for it. That's for another dev. Number 6, there's a question regarding Restrain, but I won't tell it yet until you get to it. Alright, well, now I got to it, but there's other stuff that I gotta answer as well. Ooh. Can we expect multiple rewards for future Epic Realms? Probably not. They're probably gonna just be giving out plans and that's it. Alright. There's a bunch of just messages. Question: will there be a more music in the future besides just gameplay, i.e. shop music, almanac music, more endless music? No. There's already so much music that needs to be made just for content, and that stuff is remaining as it is. What other stuff is there? Why does Summer Nights only have 2 specials so that people can whine about it?
We hate Summer Nights. We hate it.
Yeah, hate it. We wanna make. Oh, hello, AB fan.
AB is here. AB jump scare.
AB has been here for a little bit.
Just stay there silent until the Summer Nights question.
I was waiting to see what would happen.
Well, got
I'm not from Texas. Please stop slandering me.
Also, for production of CC as a whole so far, did you run into any issues with RN animating? Oh, okay, that was for Bossinator. Will you guys do the countdown used for the release of CC for future worlds and to extend the key unlock? Probably not. The key unlock is something we will keep doing. The countdown was just for CC because it was a reference to FNAF. It was a reference to how for FNAF teasers you have to bright up the image. Alright, what's next?
Here's a really interesting one. From Super Awesome Silister. What's every dev's thoughts on Airfield modern day overall?
My thoughts on the expansion are that I really like it. I really like the modern day expansion. I think the levels are really fun.
I adore it. It's so
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
It is a
On the,
big
on the
collection
expansion
of
or on
cool
the
ideas
world
just done.
overall?
Like I'm guessing on the world as a whole, like the vanilla portion of modern day is kind of pathetic because they really just did not stick the landing whatsoever.
Yes,
But
4M
the
is wave one,
expansion,
thank you.
the expansion in
I
Reflourished
think
really makes it like stick out, and it's really fun.
I think Modern Day Part 1 set like quite high stakes, but then Part 2 really blew it.
Yeah,
I
when I
think-
actually replayed Modern Day, like the vanilla portion of it, I think Part 1 is a lot better than Part 2. Because Part 1 actually
Yes.
feels like it's doing something, and then Part 2 just kind of doesn't do anything.
I think
forgot about
the
Portal.
biggest mistake definitely was just the free Zomboss fights. Those
Oh,
were just
yeah.
like... I literally got an empty feeling in my stomach when I finished the third one. I was like, that's it, really?
We have been robbed. We have been
It was just a
robbed.
bunch of cheap walk cycles. Upcat betrayed us.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
literally
started
just feel like that.
tearing off all the PvZ2 posters off of my walls and throwing all the merchandise in trash cans.
And destroying all the instruments that you have.
Yeah.
You were like Patchy the Pirate when he watched that like one SpongeBob Lost
Yes,
episode.
that's what I was
The
referencing.
last episode, that was the Zomboss fight. I think the part that killed me the most as like a kid, when part 2 released, was like, we get a taco waffle. We don't even get the original taco.
Yeah, that was also
Man, I'm
like such a
scared.
punch in the gut. Like, really, we don't even get the original
Why?
taco.
This was
Yeah.
for nothing.
The mission was not fulfilled.
Like,
It
what
made
was the
Goody
point of
One
that?
friends along the way, not for a taco.
All of that was just for Zombot to like give you a thing and be like, okay, just stop.
Even the brief expansion for modern day didn't really satisfy because we just got
But
like
don't-
the
don't
future
worry.
spot, and then we got it
Don't
again
worry.
for the far future expansion.
They have saved PvZ2. So if you've played modern PvZ2, they have introduced many new worlds. They've introduced the Zombaseum, which is a beloved world where plants enter and do not leave. There is the Z Corp takeover, where you can find walnut memes, and there's the carnival.
Oh my god. Okay, but can we please discuss briefly the fact that they mentioned walnut memes specifically? That has to be us, right? We were responsible for that, right?
I think
Because the line,
because
the
that
line-
dialogue was written in June of 2024. No, June of 2023. June of 2023. So it was like right after SpongeBob age.
right? It was right after SpongeBob, and the line,
Takeover
the
dialogue.
line, "I lost my magic" is from Walnut, from Vanilla. So them saying walnut memes has, like, I refuse to believe anything else. That had to be us. We were responsible for that.
So if you're wondering the context of this, in Vanilla's first Z Corp takeover event, they had P Shooter and Zomboss. They have some sort of remark about Z Corp help desks or something, and P Shooter says, "No thanks, I've seen enough walnut memes," and it's
Someone just posted like a screenshot of modern PvZ2, and then just like, I'm seeing some of these plans, and I'm just like, I'm questioning everything in my life. Like, what is this like tumbleweed looking ass red guy? What is
that's
this?
cran jelly. That's cran jelly.
Dude, this is so bad. Oh my god, some of these are.
I legit thought you were saying that is cringe, Ellie.
No.
No, it's cran jelly.
That looks
I
like a
hate to
spider.
say, I think Black Spinner's like somewhat like Sticky Bum, right? That's the impression that I've gotten. I don't know too much about it.
Welcome
That's just
to the
what I
Zombaseum.
know. It's like it's mostly similar to
Your
Sticky Bum, right?
darkness will not
one
overshadow
Museum?
our
It's the spider
determination.
one.
Where plants enter, but they do not
The
leave.
one below cran jelly is just like a spider. What the hell was that? That looks
It's
so
called
bad.
Glass Spinner. Like I
Ah,
have no
dude.
idea how this really correlates as a plant. Like, huh?
Didn't
think
What
the
do you
only
think-
like passable ones are like Meteor Flower and like Bampuccini. Those look like okay. And
All right, I'm
Well,
back to where I used to be. How does General Camo feel about the Brainiac Maniac motives in his demonstration minigame? Yeah. So
Oh boy.
personally, I didn't want them to be there, but they got in, and that's kind of that. But hey, some people like it, so I guess it's fine. Camo, though, I think would absolutely hate that because that's a very Zomboss.
That's why he's screaming in it. That's why he's screaming in it.
Yeah.
That's why he screams in the song.
Why is Zombos' ugly mug in my soundtrack?
Will there be another mini boss team at some point? Yeah, I'll make more mini boss teams. I just need, you know, first of all,
Mini
there needs
boss.
to be a place to use them in. Secondly, it takes a while to make them because they're kind of complicated. Mostly because of mixing and stuff like that. All right. Collisionist Carnival Night 5 with really stretched out P-mowers and trap tiles.
It's true.
One of the dislikes is from Camo.
How could different NPCs interact logistically? I mean, well, they would be like communicating with radios or something. The way most of them already communicate is kind of like with radio, or Zomboss communicates with a hologram. I think most of them kind of do stuff like that. Are you guys going to make permanent content to introduce the NPC? Yeah, I already answered this. All right. What if Mechanic Zombie had variants in Garden Warfare 2? AB, you take that one. You play a lot more Garden Warfare than me.
Chief Icewind would be one. Elder Hailstorm would be one.
Mini boss team.
Any other variants, AB?
I can't think of any. I'm
Do
sorry.
we slot in Rock Carrier or something?
Rock
Did we do
Carrier's
that?
a troglodyte. He doesn't count.
We're still in contact with older developers of the mod, like Bonk. Some of them. I am in contact with some of them. I'm not in contact with some others. It has more to do with stuff outside of the mod than actually relating to the mod. So that I'm not gonna go further with that question. I think AB's gonna kill me for. Oh yeah, yeah.
For what?
Nothing. I didn't say.
What is
anything.
this?
I did
What
not
is
say
it?
anything.
Where is it at? Where's that? Someone tell me. Someone tell me. Someone tell me.
Nobody say
One of you
anything.
tell me.
PeaMix
One of you
revealed
tell
the
me.
next 10 worlds.
One of you
That's
tell
what
me.
happened.
Yeah, I accidentally dropped the next like 10 worlds that we planned.
What?
What?
they know all about the Batman ages. We're so cooked. We're done.
They know
We're
about
done
Happy
for.
Land?
No.
Yeah, they
No.
no, don't.
Land.
I already. I just mentioned a happy area. Now you said it's Happy Land. Now they know.
That's
Now they
Dev's
know.
QnA.
Wait. Oh, what was it?
Happy
What was
Land.
leak? What was
Happy Land.
what was discussed here that I would want to kill
thank God
someone
that you
for?
didn't say anything about Moss Mechanic Ages.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we kept that one under wraps at least.
Well, you
Yeah,
just leaked it.
it's quite a rushed art.
Oh, replayable LTEs. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't feel like killing you. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, put in a little more effort.
I don't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like killing
Another
you over
question
that.
for the pile: would AA even being possible within PvZ2's Gen code? Could many games like this, and this be possible?
I think Brecco answered that one.
Yeah, please know that just because we were able to do assault airspace doesn't mean that we are like omnipotent. So you know, every single thing that gets in the game is something that requires time and a bunch of work. So I don't even know how to answer that one. Like, don't put your expectations way too high in terms of what's gonna get added and what's not gonna get added. I would love to see
Also, we
more
have to want
minigames
to add
be
it.
featured within Reflourished. On top of minigames, could they become more technical? Is basically being from
Oh, is that the
open-
state of Texas?
What?
The state of Texas is in chat.
Oh no.
Hello, state of Texas.
The
Texas
actual
joke
state of
is
Texas
back.
is in chat.
Oh, the Texas joke is back. Oh, I rejoice, AB. I rejoice.
Yeah, tell him, get out.
Are we really about to do
Get
this
out.
again?
They literally
Confirm
just
the
launched
allegations,
5
AB.
days
You're
ago.
from Texas. Trust
I'm
me.
not from Texas.
You are from Texas, though.
No, I'm not. Stop agreeing with this.
Uh,
Yeah, Utah's okay.
Texas, I kick him.
What is this cat? Who put a cat video here?
Wait, where's the cat? Where's the cat? Where's the cat? I want
Oh,
to see
Geometry did.
it. Where is he? I want to see it. I want to see the cat.
It's at like what 24 minutes ago.
25
Oh
minutes.
dear. You're gonna
Actually,
be scrolling for a while, AB. Sorry.
there's a really good
Okay.
question here to our beloved AB fan. AB, the masses need to know this. Are you an EA developer in disguise?
EA developer in disguise.
God.
Okay,
The ninjas
I got
will be
another
listening.
question that's kind of important.
Okay.
Honestly, I would like future epic runs to have more than one plant. One single plant for 20 levels is kind of meh. Obviously, not the same amount as AA, but 6 plants free, I think, is the perfect amount for that amount of levels. That's all. That's already a big ask. Just one new plant is tough to implement. So don't set your expectations too high in terms of future epic realms having up to like 3 plants. Like maybe, but there definitely will be more single plant epic realms, I think. Just because plants are pretty tough to make, and you know we want to focus on making stuff besides just new plants. Can MC Zombie get a cooldown for his microphone attack? Anything balance related that would need new code is not likely to happen because our coding resources are limited. We want to focus them on the coolest stuff.
We
It's
wanna
also vanilla
It's
zombies, so,
only
like-
the like few times we've done like balance things. Like there was Zoidbeam Han's recent change.
Yeah,
There was,
like little things like that. Just
There was what else was there? The boom balloon change that we did alongside 1.3 that gave it different stack values, and there was what was the other one? 3 Peters change. But those were all like specifically targeted towards those plants. to
does
help make them
Camo have
better.
a favorite type of weapon other than bombs?
Yes.
I think maybe. Well, technically, if we're gonna be going by his graveyard onslaught appearances, he does really like gas cans and gas bot imps. He is quite fond of that tactic.
He's quite fond of using chlorine gas.
Probably either chlorine or mustard.
That's probably the closest thing you're gonna get to him flashbanging you, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think we'll be seeing more super heavy planes added? I want even more variety for pennies challenges. I think maybe there's a chance, yeah, because I'm also a fan of those, but not much, because casuals don't really enjoy them.
I mean,
We
didn't
did just
you
get Gatling
one
P
with
too.
Gatling
But yeah, you did
So-
just get Gatling P, so there's that. What are the
Hello,
NPCs'
Deb. Please
opinion
add
on
Nick
Collisionist
Gatling
Carnival
P.
and Zomboss in it? NPCs don't know that Zomboss is in Collisionist Carnival. Zomboss is doing something quite sneaky. He's being a lot more careful than he used to be. He's trying to keep his new scheme under wraps. He doesn't want people to be, on his tail. There's a very good reason for all of that. The NPCs have no idea what he's up to. They don't even know that he's in Collisionist Carnival. He's planning something. He's planning something. The NPCs are underestimating Zomboss quite a lot. I will say that. They think they have him figured out. They don't.
Yeah, I still think back to like the end of like our recent like LTE too. Like Penny literally like ranked him as like second second most zombie threats with
Yeah.
Camo just basically beating him out.
Yeah, the thing about that is, right, it's just Penny saying it based on like calculations. It doesn't have to be true. Camo is currently possessing kind of more of a tactical grudge against the heroes, because he was the big bad in 2 separate occasions, and he did concoct quite a clever plan in AA. But let's not forget what Zomboss is capable of. General Camo really loves to build himself up and really loves to gloat about himself. I think that may have rubbed off on Penny a little bit, even on Dave, because of how much Dave feared being in AA.
I mean,
Camo is
Zomboss-
probably a lot more like Zomboss than he's willing to admit, if we're gonna be real.
Quite literally, like, yeah, I think he had history repeat itself, in fact, with himself.
Yeah, okay, but before I'm gonna
Private.
dedicate an entire section to Camo and his lore in AA. I'll do that as soon as I finish some of the other questions. But put a pin in that. I'll get back to that. Will you ever have another Epic Realm feature, another NPC? For example, Camo for AA. Yep, exactly. Camo being the lead of AA is not an isolated thing. There will be more fun to be had. That's why I really like our NPCs. They're very versatile. They give a lot of flavor to the stuff we're planning. What inspired the Spring Eating plotline for this year being Zomboss reappearing? Well, I mean, basically just, the fact that NPCs have kind of been a thing for a while. It's time for Zomboss to get his reation to all of that, and that's what the plotline was.
If I may
Live
add something
Zomboss
to that real
reaction.
quick, since I'm a level designer, part of the reason why the Spring Ending Time event only took place in Spring Ending was because we wanted to make that LT like a return to form from the original LTs, between Zomboss being there and then there being this really silly plot of him just bombing your house with chocolate. It just sounded really funny, and we just went with that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, it puts things into a lot of perspective.
Quite
Alright.
quite a turn of events after there were bombs and pyramid schemes and luck machine, etc.
Hello, alien cat. Or okay.
You like the alien cat?
Yeah.
He's from Mars.
Oh, we got a suggestion for increasing Greaser Imp's health. Personally, I feel like him just being a normal imp is alright. I see the argument on the gameplay side of like you want to have him more impactful so he doesn't just die immediately. But I think it's more important to keep consistency because he doesn't visually look like he could take more of a beating than a normal imp.
Yeah, he's just kind of meant to be like a special type of garbage that appears in Big Wave Beach.
Yeah,
We had the idea.
He's just
We
a
had the
little guy.
idea.
Open the big
We
white
thought it
beach
would be
tower. He
funny.
needs to
We
be
thought it'd be
relevant.
funny. He's a funny guy.
Okay, a question you skipped, PeaMix, is regarding Assault Airspace. Why is Assault Airspace a 4-pepper world instead of 5?
I wasn't the one who designed the levels or made that decision, so I don't know if I'm the most qualified to say.
I can probably speak for Slime.
Yeah, go for it, Amy.
Because she didn't want it to be like really hard, so we just made it 4, and the levels were designed around it being 4 instead of being 5. It's quite simple, really.
I will say
nothing majorly complex. It's just that simple.
During the development of Assault Airspace, we were conflicted between 4 and 5. At the start of developing the levels in Assault Airspace, we actually did not consider the cannon at all. Like, it wasn't a thing. That was added
like a month ago. It was added like a month ago.
I think like a month and a half ago, more or less.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of March. We added the cannon.
Yeah, we were starting the first 5 levels, and then we ended those 5 levels, and then we got to the next set of levels, and we were like, the early game is way too hard. How can we fix this? And then we just thought, you know what, just re-add the cannon, because the cannon helps you a lot.
If that
So-
cannon was actually carrying, then like I guess that's why it's like I didn't feel like I had as much of a rough time with it as I thought I would.
Yeah, the cannon and the Nespero or Loquat, as some of you might know her, also came into the picture once we added the cannon as well because we needed things for the early game to make assault airspace not as punishing as it was before.
All right, I gotta speed up. Oh, the next question is by the
sorry.
state of the next question is by the state of Texas. Anyways, what was the thought process behind all PCs being re-aired? From the very beginning, like before the first PC ever aired, we knew there were gonna be re-airings eventually. Just because we can't constantly keep making new ones. I mean, we can, but not at the same pace. So yeah, the whole
That's
concept of
52
them
levels
being,
a year.
yeah, the whole concept of them being re-aired was something planned from the very beginning. We were always planning on making a certain amount that would be re-airing, with occasional new ones in there as well.
Could you also
Honestly-
say that like we'd eventually run out of ideas too, or something like that?
Kind. I mean, not yet. I still think there's a lot to explore, and also consider that every time new content is added, you can make new PC ideas with it.
Yeah,
That's
new
true.
Draper art too. Like in the last few Penny's challenges, like the ones before we switched over back to re-airing old ones.
Honestly,
You
the
may,
fact event.
You may notice that some of the art is like not as crazy as some of the older ones. Like it's not as like complex. That was because it was hard to keep track of them.
Also, we never initially planned on each having a unique banner. That just kind of happened because the artist wanted it. And now we gotta commit to it. Now we gotta keep it up.
New art every week, folks.
I mean, they brought that on themselves. We did not require them to do that. They
Yeah,
brought
that
on
was their
themselves.
choice. And actually, there has been a template made for Penny's challenges to have like a default view, but every single time someone goes in and makes one just to avoid using it.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Someone would have made that like half a year ago, like back in August. I was like, please, we need a basic banner so that we don't have to wait forever. And every single time we get close to using it, someone pulls up with a new one.
Just like
So we
it's
just can
either
never
like the
use it.
most. It's either
I
like the most
finally
elaborate thing
reached the
ever.
bottom of messages. I am now in real time looking at messages.
Congratulations.
Finally.
Welcome
Just
back
commit
to
to
modern
construction.
day.
My God,
Alright,
modern
just so I'm kept up to speed, I'll be answering the new questions very quickly so that I don't get left behind again. Would it be possible to make a hard mode? Depends on what you mean by hard mode. Technically, it would be very easy if you just, like, I don't know, make an alternate version of, like, I guess some JSON files, right? Like, you could technically edit some JSON files to make just a more hard version of the game or something like that. But if you want an official hard mode, technically that's what Penny challenges are. Technically.
We're definitely not gonna do like the hey guys, today we have like the hardest PvZ mod ever. So this is like the Buckethead newspaper Bungie
Yeah,
zombie.
we'll never have official difficulty like changes. There's always gonna be one version of Reflourished, and that's it. However, but if you wanna challenge yourself, you can always do that. Question: is there anything you'd like to remove from Reflourished that is either impossible or wouldn't be well received? Technically yes, but not really. Nah, I don't think there is, honestly. Alright. Can't wait for Big Head Superfan Imp, the Chosen One piece. Yeah, Chosen One has made an impact.
Oh my god.
Oh, hello,
Chosen
Ty
second.
Laser. Newspaper zombie mod content thing. I don't know what you mean. Can you bump up Reflourished speedruns so runners can suffer 20 hours? Yeah, sure.
Darp? How hard is it to mess with world maps? I hate it. I really do not like it. I do not like it at all. I hate it. I hate it so much. I really do not like it.
All right,
I mean, yeah,
why was AA made into a side thing rather than a new world? I mean, it seems to work great as it is. I'm just curious. Because in order to be recognized as a full adventure world, it needs to continue the adventure story. And it doesn't do that. It's more self-contained. It's like a self-contained story about camo. and also it doesn't really have the, how do I put it? It doesn't really follow the guidelines of typical worlds.
Yeah, so there's a few things that Assault Airspace doesn't have that like other worlds do. It doesn't have a note art at the moment. It doesn't have an endless zone. It doesn't have a trophy. It doesn't have what else does it not have? It does not have no. It doesn't have a trophy. It doesn't have 32 levels. So like, there's that. Most new worlds have 32 levels.
And also,
that's how
it's just
Images
way
works.
too. How can I say it? Like, the gimmick is way too different from what a typical world would be. Sky City plays pretty differently than usual PvZ, which isn't a bad thing. It just means it's not bad. It's different, and I actually think it's really cool. I think most of our fan base also think it's really cool, but it's not really a traditional world in the typical sense.
It's a very heavy dynamic switch up.
Yeah. How would the NPCs appear on screen together if they were to interact in an LT or something? AB, will you take that one?
So we've actually already got the code for this. It's already made. We know how it's gonna work. We know how it's gonna look. They're gonna appear at the top, like where they normally appear, but they're gonna appear next to each other. So like at the top, if you have the nanny and I don't know Zomboss speaking together, they're just gonna be beside each other.
In the Holiday Mashup boss fight, how come Zomboss summoned zombies only from the holidays he already fought? Like, why doesn't he spawn like Big Brains or Food Fight zombies? Because the boss of a world needs to only use the stuff from that world. That's kind of a...
Aren't they already in the world?
Oh, he only spawns the ones that are in the fight. The limit is, I believe,
Big Brains and Food Fight. Excuse
Yeah.
me. For some reason, I thought it was like the sports one.
yeah, no.
Okay, I misread the question. That's on me. But the reason why he doesn't spawn Big Brains and Food Fight is because we could not fit all the holidays in.
If we had to do that, then
so
there would
we
be
just picked the most important ones.
Yeah, and Big Brains is unimportant. No one likes it.
Just modern day.
When Tales of Reflourished 2. Okay, actually, I do have an idea for Tales of Reflourished 2. I want to do it on Holiday Mashup and its development, but because I hate video editing and scripting, I'll probably just record myself playing Insanity and talk over that. I think that would be a decent format. Let me hear if you wanna watch something like that.
How would we make Big Brains more interesting?
There's no way.
There's
it's
no
Big
way.
Brain.
We don't.
There's no way.
Well, the only way you can do that is by redoing everything, and we don't redo everything here. We're Reflourished. We don't change everything that PopCap did.
I remember when I first joined the team, our first LT as new level designers was Big Brains 2023, because I was also the first handmade LT, I think. And I proposed to everyone we make it a modern day light for Big Brains. Only I and another level designer followed through with the idea. Nobody else did.
All right, I think now's the time. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Foreshadowing about Assault Airspace. Oh boy. We have been having so much fun sticking clues into the face of everyone, knowing that nobody would take it seriously.
Yeah, I snuck in like a pretty clear one during the oh god, yeah, I snuck
The
in
Heroes contest. That was like the very
Yeah.
first blatant one.
I remember with the General Camo bot, I just like, oh, just you wait, my victory will soar high above your heads, and it was just like, oh, this is so cheeky.
Yeah,
so
that's
cheeky.
Also, General Camo having the
yeah,
Looks
he
like
has
that right
the,
now. It was-
logo on his.
he has a little emblem on his hat, and it's been there since the beginning, and it's
Yeah,
always
he's-
been foreshadowing it, and no one ever noticed it. Like, no one ever looked, oh, that's the Sky City emblem. Everyone talks about Sky City, but they never noticed the emblem on General Camo's hat.
Yeah, even in Meteor Z video, it says after conquering the skies.
Yeah,
And
we
then
just we
the
didn't even
entire
bother with
Douglas
that one.
talk. The entire Douglas talk. Do you know how fun it was to write that little section talking about Sky City?
We literally just
We
forced
literally
the
went through
entire
all the
world.
ones that were gonna
idea.
show up. Literally all 6 of them.
Yeah, he said like he leaked everything.
And maybe
Douglas
even
leaked everything.
Gatling P. And maybe even Gatling P.
Didn't he just like
He leaks
leaked
all the zombies too. He says it's gonna have all the ones from the original.
Yeah, that's why we
except for the
did it.
misstep.
That's why we did it, because we knew you all would think it was fake. That's why it was so funny.
Honestly,
That's
I
why
like
we
they
did
did
the
the
stupid
shot,
video
though.
on AB's channel as well.
I edited that one,
It's
by the
so
way.
funny because I feel like people would actually like skip all the dialogue too. Like there were definitely a few people that did that.
I proposed like the video idea kinda, and then I just made it, and I think PeaMix kind of uploaded like so. I think he made like the lawn and like
Yeah,
give it
I
some
wanted
kind of
to.
touches.
I also
But it
gave
was just-
some directions on how to make it more similar to like my old videos.
But it was so fun to make. It was so fucking fun to make that on like Sony Vegas 15.
Yeah,
God,
in that
was...
video, I think that video also leaks every zombie.
Yeah, it
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
does. They're all in there. Like they're all in there.
They just have wrong names.
I think
Yeah, they're
gas.
called War Zombie.
I think the gas imp isn't there. I think only like
Oh, Gas Imp is there. Gas Imp is there.
Yes, Imp is there, yeah.
Is there too?
He's just called something else.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was. It was like I don't know. Oh yeah, I think it had like the description like, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's like something. It was like a really bad joke in purpose. It also had like the God, how was the commando zombie like kind of sketch up? I think one developer. I think one developer just kind of made that, just like stitch up a lot of stock photos to make commando zombie.
Okay, actually, who made that poorly edited commando?
That was
Tudis.
Tudis. That was Tudis.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was Judas. That was.
Yeah, I can't answer that if it was an intentional reference. I think Tudis would have to answer that because
I think it was just like made to be thrown together, like looked like it was pulled off of like Google Images.
But the intentional reference is kind of really funny. The unintentional or intentional.
Who made Cloud
Who made-
Walnut?
yeah,
The new
Not
Shield
us.
Zombie, he is not original. He is from 2C. He was added like an update ago. While we were working on Assault Airspace, TalkWeb suddenly decided to go back and update Air Raid, and it turned out that Shield Zombie they added for Air Raid for some event or something happened to have all the animations it would need to just be normally usable. So we added them.
Where was the EDM roof team from? That EDM roof team has existed for like a decade. I
That's
think
Graze
maybe
the Roof
over a
Techno.
decade.
It's
That's
still
Graze the
on
Roof
my
Techno.
playlist.
thought of,
It's
like-
such a nostalgic thing.
I thought of like what is like the most overused like song on like every single PvZ2 video back in like 2015, and I was like, I got it! It's the fucking EDM.
Where did you find Cloud Walnut? Like who is that? Just
Someone
a random
sent
image?
Didn't Brecco find that? Didn't Brecco find Cloud Walnut?
Yeah, someone found that image of a walnut, and we just named it Cloud Walnut.
Cloud Walnut.
Fuck
The
it.
canon is from 2C. Also, Gatling
the
P
walnut
is not
that
in the
found its
original.
magic.
The clouds aren't
Oh
in the
yeah.
original.
Okay, that's even funnier. That walnut was from the Ice Age leaks.
Ice Age.
Wow.
Ice
Oh
Age?
my god,
New
that's a
World
deep
Ice
cut.
Oh my
How does
god.
that even make any
God,
sense?
It's Cloud Walnut.
Holy cloud, that's a deep cut.
What do you think he does?
He flies. He just floats.
Yeah. He's Cloud Walnut.
He's Cloud
Is that
Walnut.
literally it?
This will be reflourished.
Ice Age.
In 2014. I like how they were only like one world off.
Yeah, they were.
I wonder what
They
the other one
did
was going to be. What was next to Ice Age?
Wait, what's that? Yeah, what's that on the right?
Is that Lost City?
That looks like a bunch of mountains, or maybe
Lost
like
City.
pine trees.
Or
Lost
like
City.
They
Crystals.
predicted Jurassic Marsh, guys.
Castle World or something. It
We
looks
already
like
have a castle world to the left.
All right, another thing that I put a pin on is General Camo and his storyline in AA. Let's discuss that briefly.
Cloud Walnut.
My god, cloud walnut.
All right,
why
you
is
guys
that
have your
randomly?
fun with Cloud Wall.
Why is that bird zombie from All Stars there? And Plasma P? Why is Iceberg
Oh my
Lettuce there?
god.
Pumpkin.
Iceberg
I
lettuce
would
and
Iceberg
Sophie are
lettuce
just
be
casually
unlocked
here.
in Ice Age.
7
It's
years
unlocked.
Iceberg
old.
lettuce
Yeah.
evolution like in Clash Royale.
All right, let's hear PeaMix's speech.
Yeah. Okay. So about General Camo's storyline in AA. Did anyone fully understand what was going on there? Because that was really hard to like write into the story in a way that can be
I
understood.
think the general idea is basically that he basically set up a time loop of him overthrowing and stuff and constantly keep coming back.
Well, it is a time loop.
It's
Kind of.
more like a time knot, really.
It's more like a fixed point in time. Yeah, it's kind
a
of
closed
like
knot.
it's a closed knot. Okay, so like mini AA story time. When the update came out, it was at 11 p.m. and I had school on the next morning, so I didn't update until after I got home. But before that, I was reading the patch notes. I barely even paid attention to the airplane mode. And the first thing I saw about AA was Eric Settle uploaded the team, and I straight up thought it was a late April Fool's joke. Yeah, good.
Airplane mode.
What fact though that we sort of had the idea of like, what if we post like the AA music on April Fools, because we did had like kind of in time, it was almost finished, but we just said no, let's just make the talk the only thing for like April Fools. But it was kind of planned.
We committed to the bit.
Yeah, we committed to the bit of the talk in the end, and we just like decided to shadow drop it like a week or two.
Yeah,
later.
we wanted to drop AA on April Fools, but we realized that we would be rushing a lot of things, so we decided it's better
specifically it was like audio, and also
and the boss
because it was delayed a little bit, you got the special background that AA has on the world map, the clock spiral.
Yeah.
Including the black line bug, like the ominous black line,
which is awesome and doesn't want to go away.
I think we
yeah,
need to like
making no
rush
sense
like
whatsoever.
Solar P too, and Gatling was on the back burner for a long time too.
Yeah, but okay. Anyway, what I was gonna say, the idea for AA's storyline is that Camo puts Dave and Penny into a situation that they've never really been in before. And that's why Dave is starting to kind of lose his confidence in his abilities to fight zombies. Meanwhile, Camo is like so self-absorbed that he constantly complains, right? He constantly complains about people who wrong him. Like Zomboss wronged him, right? He blames basically everything on Zomboss and how he ruined his life and wants revenge. And then he complained about some random old guy that overthrew him back when he was in charge of Assault Airspace when he was young. And he keeps saying that this mysterious old guy who overthrew him destroyed his life. And then once he realizes that guy was actually him the entire time, he just brushes it off completely.
He can't like directly say that like it's his own fault, because then that would be like admitting like this whole thing was pointless. Like he's the villain, he's got to keep on pushing somehow.
He is like it's
copium.
so funny because he is so like he's so self-absorbed, he can never admit that he made a mistake. General Camo never admits that he made a single mistake ever. So, even when he finds out he's literally responsible for himself going into hiding for 70 years, he doesn't care. Even though he like inflicted harm on himself, which is like the only thing he cares about.
General
Literally the
Camo,
most
much like
direct
modern
outcome of
podcast,
him
is caught in the
screwing
sunk
himself
cost
over.
fallacy.
He has to still keep going and not blame himself.
If it wasn't for like the time block that Penny made, he said it right there. Like, I got plan B, C, and D. I can keep going as long as I'm here. Like, he wasn't gonna give up no matter what.
And that's another thing. Camo would have won simply if he wasn't so petty. Like the fact that Camo was so enraged about Dave and Penny mocking him and being able to survive for so long is why he took out the Camotron, which eventually they used against him because he was distracted.
He probably shouldn't have used that.
He shouldn't have used that, and that's the thing he criticizes Zomboss for.
Yeah,
even though he wasn't in it, right? He wasn't in it because Camo thinks he's above Zomboss. He would never make such a stupid mistake. And yeah, sure, he wasn't in it, but he still lost because of it.
Actually, how was that thing even piloted? Was that just like AI or something? Because if he wasn't
No,
in
no,
there,
no, he was
remotely controls
piloting
it.
it. He was remotely
Remote
piloting
control.
it.
oh, remote control. Okay, good to know.
That's why he says before the fight begins. He says, "I'll make sure to I make sure to pay attention to your expressions in your last moments." Like he was
Penny's challenge reference.
like he was like watching what was going on the entire time. He had probably cameras on that thing. He was actively piloting it from a remote location. That's why he was so distracted, because he was piloting it.
Oh,
He
oops.
was piloting it from afar, but he wouldn't go into the mech itself because if he does that, he might actually just blow himself up.
Yeah, and he would never put his own life
Like
at risk.
he's not stupid, but in his own hubris of like trying to one up Dave and Penny just because they call him names, he ultimately just lost because he was petty.
Yeah, he lost because he was petty, and he has way less self-control than he thinks he does.
Yeah. The narrative hypocrisy from Camo is hilarious.
His stoic thing is just a facade.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of both ways though. Like, he is genuinely very strategic and very clever. I mean, he has a photographic memory. Let's not forget. He is a very worthwhile adversary, but at the same time, the way he got defeated is specifically because they like push his buttons, right?
Scratched his hubris.
Okay,
He
I'm
just
gonna
had to
answer.
wait it out, and he couldn't even do that.
I'm gonna answer this real quick. Like, when did Eric Sato get into Reflourished Sangha posting? Well, he made the misinformation and anti-bully squad themes.
And
So,
Lucky's team as well.
oh yeah, Lucky's team.
Anti-blue squad.
He's been making Reflourished music for longer than some people know. It's just that people have now noticed that, oh, he makes music as well. But he's been making some like tracks, some audio design stuff for like a bit now.
The Assault
He doesn't
Airspace
just
music
do
has
it.
been in the works for about a year.
Yeah, like a long time, and
Yeah.
it came out amazing. But he also does some audio design stuff, like some small sound effects.
What's up with the airship that Zomba says he notices at the end of his dialogue in Spring 10? Is that supposed to be Camo eavesdropping after Zomba saying that washed up general is nothing compared to me? So what
That's
I
just
think,
Sky City.
No, it's not just Sky City. What I think happened here is Camo got banished out of AA, right? He got literally like locked out of it. But I think in the last moments before he realized he was gonna get banished, he like ordered a single ship to like go with him or something like that. Like, in the limited time he had, he managed to pull out one ship out of that time period, because he was intending on pulling out the entire army from that time period. But because he had very limited time, he just was able to pull out one. And then he immediately ordered that one, when he was back in the present, to attack Zomboss, because he was so furious about losing that he was like, you know what, I have one battleship in the present with me, let's just attack Zomboss immediately. And that's probably what Zomboss saw, and then Zomboss just instantly destroyed it, because it was just one ship.
It was bothering him. He wanted to see.
Yeah.
Great
He was already not into the idea of like watching like Dave and Penny just die. It was just like, this is a mere annoyance. Blow it up.
Yeah, General Camel.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah,
the reason Dave
Camel.
calls him General Camel is literally because of that drawing.
thought
Because
it
we
was
saw
funny.
that drawing. I saw that drawing, and I wanted to reference it in the dialogue.
General Camel.
It was
General
too good.
Camel. That's how Dave calls him
General
now.
guy.
Yeah, at first it was General Guy, and then he turned into General Camel. Kind of like how he calls Zomboss Boss Man.
I'll answer this one myself. Unrelated, but in the very future, would it be possible to see the April Fool's 2024 pipeline to how it became? I'm already kind of working on that alongside PeaMix, with like PeaMix kind of correcting me. I'm working on a video about that, like about the development of our April Fool's events. So yeah, expect that to see sometime in the future, whenever I finally get the script like fully done.
Although I do think Camo is kind of like way more how do I say it, conniving than Zomboss in some areas. Like the fact that he purposefully abused Dave and Penny's good nature is what got them trapped there. Like he knew that they would answer a distress signal because they would want to save whoever the distress signal is from, and he just completely used that.
What's
Camo's
this
interesting.
Sky City? That was just there because we wanted day one to kind of feel like it was a little jokey to catch you guys off guard.
I think, okay, the
Yes,
main
the
difference
intention-
between Camo and Zomboss is Camo sees it more like a game that he has to win at all costs, while Zomboss actually kind of enjoys it. I think Zomboss has a bit of a frenemy dynamic with Dave and Petty, where he like goes the extra mile of always fighting them in his own Zombots, always preparing, big shows. Like he makes shows out of his boss fights, right? Meanwhile, Camo is completely just focused on raw efficiency and nothing else, and that also kind of reflects their separate personalities. I don't think Zomboss would pull something like Camo did with the fake distress signal, because Zomboss would probably think that that would be like below him. Like in a way, Zomboss views the player Dave and Penny more highly than Camo does.
Zomboss basically has standards, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Zomboss has villainy standards.
Zomboss views villainy as art.
Yeah, Zomboss will probably just gloat
You
about the
cannot
plants he
rush
captured
art.
to tell you to come get them, like he does in the
Professionals
expansions.
have
Yeah.
stand-
I think the rivalry between Zomboss and Dave and Penny started out with the brains thing, but eventually it grew into something way more. I don't know how to say it. Like, I think Zomboss genuinely not only hates them, but also kind of enjoys their ongoing conflict. Like my headcanon is that Reflourished Zomboss kind of secretly looks forward to the boss fights, because he kind of views the Zombots as another opportunity to show Dave and Penny look what I have this time,
He
he gets
literally
enjoyment
showed off,
out of that.
a Zombat Sharktronic sub 4 times. 2 for
He
the
really
base
likes
one,
that
and 2
one.
for the 2.0.
Yeah.
He likes
One of
that
the
one a
reasons
lot.
was literally just because of a rock retrieval.
He really likes it.
I really like my little fish. Look at my little fish for the 5th time.
That's a very good Zombot.
That's gonna be the.
What is-
That should have been the modern day boss. Why did we not do that? That should have been the modern day boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
We're
totally
lazy.
possible back in the day.
Well, the Joker similarities are there. I do think that Zomboss with the player and Penny and Dave has kind of a similar dynamic where, again, he kind of almost looks forward to their fights in a way. Like when it's not getting in his way. I do think when Penny and Dave are genuinely getting in his way, like in Holiday Mashup, he finds them really annoying. But there are times where he's actually enjoying their rivalry.
It's like Mega Man and Metro Man. They like to fight each other. I don't know why I thought of that.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, if Far Future
Zomboss,
think...
as you said, Zomboss has standards. He would never appear in a boss fight, without himself in the mech, because that's just below his standards, right? You can't go into a boss fight with them without showing up. It's undignified. So
what would a boss fight be without the boss? It would just be
yeah,
fun.
yeah. That's how Zomboss is thinking. So he's just thinking to himself oh my god, Camo is such a coward.
Oh my god, Zomberg is in chat.
Someone's echoing.
Yeah,
I already muted them, don't worry.
Okay.
You know, you need to make them like super big and flashy and like special. Like, oh, here's like a concert stage. Here's like a flying gondola. Here's a walking spider robot. Here's
I
a
feel like
robot sleigh.
Zombot Sphinxinator!
I
Oh,
feel
you mean
like
the bug thing?
Zomboss would be like he would be fine if Dave and Penny went there, but he wouldn't have
Why
as
is
much like,
Zombird
fun.
here?
He wouldn't have as much fun like
David the Potipus!
doing
What
his
an unexpected
little schemes.
surprise!
Okay, wait, can I ask something? Can I ask something like regarding like how Zomboss would feel
Yeah.
like if this happened? Okay, so like here's the thing. I remember in far future, like when it comes to the vanilla stuff, he says that like in the future, like our brains have already been collected and he's just here to collect them again. Like if this actually happened, how do you think Zomboss like when this happened would feel? Do you think he'd just be like depressed or like thrown into like a sort of Megamind sort of situation?
Okay,
where
first of all, I think that during that dialogue, he was just like making things up. I think he was just gaslighting them because he does that a lot in vanilla, and that's also something he kind of does in Reflourished sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that's true. He does. He literally tries to turn Chopper against us, right?
Yeah. The second thing is, even if that did happen, how would Zomboss react? Like, I think Zomboss would kind of start missing them a little bit. Like, probably not to the point as Megamind got, but he would kind of think to himself like, oh, all I have to look forward now is, you know, fending off myself from all of these random NPCs who want to take over my position and kill me. And he would kind of like, I don't know, he wouldn't be having as much fun anymore without that kind of dynamic to look forward to.
Without Batman, what was that one line from the Joker? Without Batman, there's no.
It's basically
punchline
this song.
There's no punchline. There it is.
Like, Zomboss would still be having his own plans that are completely independent of Penny and Dave, and he would actually be able to achieve them much faster because Penny and Dave aren't preventing him. But a part of him would kind of be thinking, like, this is too easy. Because he got so used to like them being there all the time.
I've won, but at what cost?
We're not moving to Texas. No one likes Texas.
I am totally moving to Texas. What are you
No,
talking
you're
about?
not.
I'm moving to your house.
Like Sandy Cheeks just shows
You're
up.
not moving to
That's
Texas.
chasing
Texas
AB.
sucks.
Yeah,
I'm
meanwhile,
moving to your
like,
house, baby.
Like, I don't know, with Zomboss actually likes to banter with them, right? Camo, meanwhile, even a little bit of banter and disrespect, and he immediately goes for the KYS.
That's a peak line.
Oh my god. Okay,
Do
now I
the
actually
world
want
a
to
favor and remove your filth from it.
Oh, so Solar P.
AB because
So it was
AB's
very
just
simple.
Texas.
It was very simple. We thought it was cool.
Yeah,
That's
we saw the animations like for you to use for mothers, and we just like, yeah, this is pretty
kinda
cool.
cool.
It's
Kinda
really
cool.
cool.
Okay.
And we can do the
It's pretty
coding
good.
easy. It's just like we're gonna do it. It's a cool like Jimmy implant.
Camo must be fun at parties. I mean, he's always been like this. There's a good reason why Zomboss zapped him back into historical March. He was not taking that.
Old man screams at Cloud.
He wasn't even an old man back then.
Yeah, he was just annoying.
Camo continues
consider that he's just
criticizing
annoying?
Zomboss's plans, and Zomboss is like, nerd emoji, zap.
Zomboss wants holidays. Camo wants to ban holidays. Yeah, this puts it to perspective quite well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Camo would ban holidays just out of spite. He was just like erase Christmas out of existence just to piss off Zomboss.
He would probably do it because he thinks that holidays are babying zombies up too much. Like, real zombie fighters don't need holidays, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my zombies
you don't need to go home for Christmas.
We should do that plot line, but the question is when will we do it?
PvZ2 Flourish Holiday Mashup Nerf all 40th level.
Other than
Yeah.
camos, how will time traveling affect the storylines of the other NPCs? There are a lot of funny plans we have. Basically, time travel has now become a commodity in PvZ2 Reflourished universe, as in Z-Corp is literally selling devices for zombies to time travel on the cheap. And yeah, the other NPCs are gonna try and take advantage of that.
Thanks, misinformation.
On the
Literally
topic of
all of time is getting fucked. Literally all of
yeah,
time is getting
I will say one thing. Time traveling as a whole is getting a lot more crowded now that a lot of zombies have access to it.
Yeah.
We should make teleportation zombie like canon and Reflourished or something. Just like, hey, you want to teleport to like another timeline cheap? Call a teleportation zombie. He'll get you there
That
quickly.
sounds like a scam.
That is a scam. But like,
It
yeah,
is
you can you can kind of imagine like basically there's so much traffic going on in terms of time traveling around that there will be like technically traffic jams going like that's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Wyoming traffic jam. Someone's bringing a lot of bull zombies back.
Sounds like
get out the saucers.
Sounds like this is leading up to a time twister. I got that reference. Cheeky one.
On the topic of Camo being banished, how does that work? Can he still time travel, just not to that specific period? Exactly. He can still time travel, but if he tries to go into assault airspace, he just gets, like, kicked out immediately. He's just banned from there.
Imagine you're just having a trip through time and then suddenly there's like 10,000 rock punchers just passing by.
That's the chosen one.
Shooting photos all in a line.
They have to do this for
someone
every
who likes
single
men.
Penny's challenge and every single timed event and every single pinata party.
Imagine you're going to work at Z Corp or something. You're traveling from modern day to, like, I don't know, far future because you gotta grab some stupid tech they need. And you just see to your side 50,000 Jurassic rock punchers passing you by. And you think to yourself, like, must be those Spanish challenges again.
like this rock hair meme that someone posted earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is what Brock Carrier was going to work one day, and he saw that.
Penny's like sending leaflets around like we invite you to the weekly Penny's challenge thing.
Come on, everyone, we gotta go to Harvest Festival.
Wait, aren't these things supposed to be simulations though?
They are simulations. We are just thinking in terms of what if they weren't.
Well, we are just humoring the idea.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's like Zomboss or like any other bosses for the thing? Do you think like zombies and plants would get like along? They just kind of like go to the same events, like just like, hey, how's things been going? It's just going fine.
So the lore of pinata parties is that somewhere in 2014 Dave sent like an invitation to a party, and it's still like going around, and zombies are still coming to it.
That's a funny idea.
Yeah, they're having
More
lots
zombies
of
to get
fun.
beaten.
What would happen if the chosen one escaped from the simulation?
Run.
And the end of
Run.
days.
The end.
Run. Go away.
Destruction of the universe, like colossal levels of time distortion.
Imagine if like one person's time dilation device is like wrecked, and then they just like create a huge traffic jam for everyone else.
What the hell is this insanity layout? Oh my god. Why do people find the most cursed insanity layouts I've ever seen?
I remember seeing like a loadout. I think was like 2 rows of solar sage, and there's like pug zombies and weasels
How
in
does
there.
Hanteria time travel despite her fearing technology? I really need to know. She doesn't do that. She doesn't know how to handle it. Zomboss does that for her because she directly works for him. Zomboss just handles her travels all the time.
Imagine Zomboss actually like has to set up a trap for her each time she needs to time travel.
Someone just got beeped at.
Yeah, that's the time travel traffic.
That's the time traffic.
Who's like in a car right now?
Carolina 50 Robotados causing traffic. Yeah, man, come on, I gotta get to Collision's Carnival.
My fucking Starbucks drawings are getting more and more demented. I love it.
Okay, so I want to note about Memory Lane. Why would that be a world? We've
What would
kind of
happen if,
already
like-
added some of its mechanics. We've added the modern night, and we've added modern pool. How would that be a world? It's just modern day.
What would happen if like some zombies like got lost while time traveling? Like, what
The
would they
roof is
do?
still just modern day.
They would be you know that place? You know that place in Modern Day Part 2 trailer where Zomboss is just kicked into a portal?
Oh
And
yeah,
stuff is floating around. That's where you end up.
yeah.
like
just-
a guard, like gets stuck in one of the rifts, and now they're all just stuck drifting in like the in between of space. And
Yeah,
You
you're
have,
just
like-
stuck there.
you just have to like hitchhike, like
devs
to,
have not
some
been
other
shot
time
for
traveling
not
zombie
implementing
or
that.
something. Like, hey, please give me a ride. I'm like stuck here. I need to go to Jurassic
There's
Mars or
there's
something like
probably like there's probably like a million zombies stuck in there, unable
Looking
to get
for it.
out.
Looking for like a
some of which are
hitchhike
now
ride or
just like
something.
flat. They're just like flat squares, just like drifting in space, like we see in ancient Egypt.
Can we get 900 HP sapling? Why are you asking me? I'm not in balanced discussions anymore. I mean, I am kind
I will
of.
be
but not
writing that
really.
down, though. I will be writing that down. Just saying.
No, dude, I have an idea. 1.5
Minecraft
brain.
Give us
movie
give us
ages.
another recipe. What recipe do you want? I only know like 2 or 3.
Can Springbean be banned in AA?
Can we get instant swap e-root? Yeah, come on, AB. Can we?
Come on, AB.
I am not
Can
touching
we,
that.
AB?
I'm
Can we,
sorry.
AB? Can we, AB?
Why are you not
That's not my
touching
job.
that?
That's not my job. That's
Why not?
animation's job.
And that's
Exactly.
I'm not.
animations.
I'm not
Bostonator.
animation.
Bostonator. Bostonator.
What?
Don't do it.
When are we getting
Don't do it.
e-root?
Be lazy.
Instant?
Be lazy. Listen to me. Be lazy.
Okay, I need to say this. Like, this is asked all the time by like Azazel, like all the time in balance discussions. And it's like, what do you expect me to do? This is an animation thing. This ain't my job.
Bostonator.
I honestly,
lazy.
I honestly don't know what we're doing with
Just
it.
be lazy. Just don't do it. Be lazy.
I am lazy. Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm busy.
Azazel is gonna rat us out to the government. Are you happy now?
It's okay. I got a contact.
Where's the cooking show with PeaMix? You're actually kind of getting like an alternative to that.
I
where we
will.
just
I will
rant on
only.
about them.
I will only tell you another recipe if you tell me what was in the previous one. That's right. The quiz is now. Are you ready?
Oh, the quizzes.
Pop quiz, everyone. What
Actually,
happened last
it's my
time?
quiz too. Does anyone remember the answer to my question? What was the
by
name
the way,
of the kitten?
I don't even watch the Q&As. This is literally the first one I've been here all the time. I never watched any of the last ones. How do you expect me to remember that?
You have to get both questions right.
Too bad.
You have to get
yeah.
both.
You need
You have to
both
get both.
questions right.
You have to get both. I revealed the name of the kitten in the last Q&A. What is his name?
That is not his name.
That was not his name.
I'm gonna guess Bartholomew.
No.
You're going to be executed now. That's the penalty.
I don't think they're getting this one.
PvZ reflayed. Devs so
Avery
lazy.
death, Avery
Reusing
death.
previous Q&A ideas instead of coming up with new ways to engage their audience. Yeah.
Wow, so much
Yeah, wow.
slop. Well, I guess
we're
I
just-
guess they're only doing 2 C slop too for new content.
These are we're using questions now.
The consequences of
I-
lib injection. It's true.
I do have something to bring
It's
up.
true.
Do you
It's
wanna-
it's
do you
because you're
wanna
evil,
discuss
actually.
How Gatling P came to be, because that's a funny story.
I
They
don't
have
even
not gotten.
remember.
They've not gotten the question. They've not gotten it right at all.
No, that question is just for me to say a new recipe. You're
Yeah,
not
they're
gonna
not
be
getting
getting a new recipe. I'm sorry. You failed.
Yeah, they didn't get the
You
kitten
guys
name and they
failed
didn't get
again
the
now,
recipe.
Sorry.
You guys
I-
failed.
I
How do you feel about that?
You guys
know
failed
a
the
bit
quick time
about the
event. I'm
story.
sorry.
I do know a bit about the story of the Gatling P, and I would be able to tell about it if nobody minds.
Why are there
Alright, yeah,
barrel
go
rollers and
ahead.
ice cubes?
So Gatling P was always in this limbo of if we ever add him, he's not gonna be a regular Gatling P, nor would he be MGP, never MGP, right? But at some point during the whole assault airspace brainstorming, Snarkle came up and was like, "Hey, what if we just add Gatling P as is?" And like, even though like it was previously suggested and rejected, for some reason at that specific point it suddenly clicked as an assault airspace plant that is like we need a heavy hitter who can be planted on land, right? It fits, and it's like fast recharge, so it's not exactly like Peapod. And for some it suddenly really clicked. Everyone was for it, and it was like that for a while until we decided to add the tap for the big P thing. But yeah, for a long time we were very close to getting just a regular Gatling P.
Yeah, that was
any-
actually very recent, the tap to use thing.
Yeah.
That's why we had to wait so long.
Bob
on it,
Cannon
like,
explodes the
developing.
zombies.
Okay, serious question. What are you going to do after Reflourished is over? Man, I don't know when it's gonna be over.
I'm gonna go to Walmart.
I'm gonna go drink a glass of water or something.
Yeah, gonna go to Walmart,
Probably
buy
go
some
replay like Return to Dreamland
buy
for
some
like the
cheese.
100th time.
What other questions are there?
Like the question isn't what are we going to do after Reflourished ends. The question is whether the Reflourished will end before we die or it dies with us.
Probably.
I don't know, like, if I guess
Oh my dear grandson, this is my last will. You are now the animation lead for Reflourished, as I am no longer able to touch the keyboard or something.
it just depends on like motivation, like what else. If it reaches to a point in which you say, well, we don't really have much else to do. Because if some lead devs die, oh my god, if some lead devs leave the team,
If we
I
die,
guess-
are you planning on
Are
killing
you,
us?
yeah, are you threatening us?
Are you threatening
mass
us? You're gonna
murder?
kill us? With guns?
No.
Mauricio, I
No.
cannot
With
rush art
guns?
again.
No. Anyways, it, like some lead devs like kind of leave the team for whatever reason, including murder.
Including
I guess-
murder.
Yeah, I guess the torch could be passed along to someone else and like say, hey, well, I guess I'm kind of the more veteran dev here. I don't know how it's gonna be handled. We'll see.
You're gonna
For
kill
now,
us. That's how it's gonna end.
Exactly. I mean, what?
What?
No.
Exactly.
I
Who's
blame
dying
you,
first?
boss, for
That's
Dev's
not a
gonna
good
die?
question.
I blame boss for putting the die word in like my mouth because I
No, I think you're just planning to kill us.
We're on to you.
Yeah, we know
No.
you. We're gonna kill you ourselves.
Why
Gun.
can I kill you? Like Squidward meme. Just like looking over you.
All right.
Okay, Reflourished Dev Battle Royale begins now.
All right. I think
I'm
I'm
already
gonna
on my
be
way.
before I get killed. I'm gonna be here for another 10 minutes, so we better wrap it up. Who's being
Why is
Yeah, you have 10 minutes.
why did
before
you use
PeaMix
the
dies.
female logo for me? That is
Yeah, there it
slander.
does.
I
Oh
am
my
tired
God.
of your slander and your nonsense.
I vote for PeaMix. I have my votes on PeaMix.
Why
I
me?
can't vote.
Why do you think
will
I wouldn't
not
be able
vote
to
for this. I
defend
need to see how
myself?
this goes.
Simply put, PeaMix, you're closer to me than AB is.
Yeah, I'm halfway across the
The
world.
ocean.
I think okay. Counterpoint. I think AB is gonna die first because he lives in America.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you live in Europe. I mean, you live in Europe, PeaMix. I could get to you much quicker than I could get to the United States. Just saying.
We're gonna die.
Okay, who the hell is spreading misinformation around that I am French? How dare you? How actually dare you?
I didn't say you were French. You're not French, but like I think you're from Europe. I think.
I am from Europe, but I am not French. All right, I'm
That
a
is
person.
slander. That's
I'm a human
That's what we
being.
were looking for.
Spanish mix. No, I'm the Spaniard here. I'm from fucking Spain. PeaMix is from like I think he's from the east.
That's another
I-
bleep.
He's from Secret.
Actually, I'm not from Mars. AB is from Mars. He is the
Yeah.
one from Mars.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm from Mars. I'm an alien from Mars.
Spanish translator mix.
I
Also,
will
that's
show
what
what
we
aliens
call
from Mars
America
look
now.
like. What?
It's like games
That,
bad,
uh,
Rust games bad.
That
Video games
Shigeru
are what if-
Miyamoto, that Shigeru Miyamoto image is our opinion on video games, actually.
It fucking video games are making.
Will the bucket tower return? No.
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 Never.
We've said this like
No.
a million times. Or
We just brought back the bocce one because whatevs wanted to repent.
Yeah, because
What
it's
is your
up to like
question, Mr. Whatevs? Do you love? No, I don't think it's in the cards for us.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Stop.
What if there's
Why
a
would
lot
you say
of
that to
work?
him? It's so mean. Look at what he said.
That's not my problem.
Can I say
Well, look,
sure.
now we know who dies
Can you
first.
say that? I think you
Seriously.
can. I
Seriously
don't
though,
think
guys.
other people can, but you're a mod, so technically you can.
I know that hating on whatevs things it's kind of funny, but like whatevs does a lot of work. Like a lot of
No,
work.
he doesn't.
Whatevs
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, actually,
Factually
yeah.
wrong.
No,
Yeah,
seriously,
that's wrong.
whatevs does a lot of writing and like a lot of artwork. And he's an art
No,
lead.
actually, all the art is done by PopCap.
No, all the art is being done by an alien that we have on Mars.
Yeah,
God,
an alien from
God
Mars.
damn it, guys! God
What?
damn it!
Whatevs is a he?
God damn it!
We actually use
AI. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
we
all
also-
AI.
It's so true. We're using Chat GPT.
We also
It's
use
all
AI
AI
to write all of the dialogue for the new
Yeah.
LTs.
Okay, we
I'm
use
sorry, but as a language
We
model, I
add
cannot
Yuri
animate
to
mechanic. I would
Reflourished.
rather kill myself.
Wasn't there a image of girls kissing for like a Penny's Draper or something?
It wasn't kissing; it was hugging.
It was hugging, yeah.
Close enough.
It was a menacing T-Rex one.
Yeah, the menacing.
That's not
T-Rex.
okay.
Yeah, it was like a Harvest Festival excavator and witch just hugging with like a.
Can I go back on the
hyper-realistic
team? Like,
Actually,
yeah.
Azazel, yes, Azazel, you can do that. But besides that inflating your ego, you're also gonna have to be the scapegoat for every balance change ever.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off.
Anyways, yeah, we use AI for everything. We use ChatGPT to come up with the concepts of new worlds. We
Well,
use
Collision's
novel
Carnival
AI.
have a chief type, and also that zombie be a clown girl. There are already plans. There are multiple girl zombies in Collisionist Carnival already.
There
We
are
have
not
already-
satisfied with the
that I cannot
trapeze.
tell you about.
How many
There are
more
mutants we
women do
cannot
you
tell you about.
people need?
You're ready.
Three women for the price of one.
I'll say this. I think AB might kill me, but we already have pretty much planned like every single zombie that we're gonna do for killing this carnival. We actually came up with a new zombie like I think some weeks ago, and it's like gonna completely change the world.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna
it
completely
was just-
change the second part of the world.
But
It's a
it
secret.
was such a good idea that we just had to make it. It was such a good idea that just came out at a whim. But like, yeah, it's gonna be probably the most controversial zombie, but it's also gonna be one of the cooler ones, definitely.
Yeah, it's the biggest. Like Collisionist Carnival as a whole was a very, very big, risk. There's a lot of risky design decisions in it, and it paid off. And I feel like for the second part, we cannot be cowards. We gotta make another fairly risky addition that I think will pay off.
Yeah, it's Roger.
If
Oh,
it goes
I got
wrong
found out.
though, this might be a jester situation all over.
No one
again.
cares about
It's not
carnival.
gonna. It's not gonna be a
True.
jester situation. I
It's
don't
not
think-
gonna be
No
though.
no one likes the carnival.
I don't think you can make another jester situation even if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I will
Make
say it's
Grunk
not
the
that
clown the main boss of CC instead of a zombot. Yeah, Grunk the clown is the mastermind of everything.
Yeah.
I
He did it.
think we're missing out on the sheer power of just saying collision.
Oh,
is
it's true.
jester.
Birthday starts here in a few hours, and there's going to be a minor update to go along with it.
Come on. Whatevs.
Fix
This
a few
is
things. It's the hot
whatevs,
fix
this
patch.
is
It's
highly-
finally coming.
okay, wait, hold on. Whatevs. This is highly important. General Camo X Professor Brainstorm when? Answer this. We need this as a trap or something. Whatevs. We need this to be real. I'll commission you.
How will AA get used in LTs in future,
How much?
considering its lore-wise? Honestly, probably just other NPCs stumbling into it. Probably just that.
Whatevs. What?
What the heck is this?
What the hell? What kind of subplot is going on while I'm answering the questions? What?
Congrats on the transition, whatevs. What are you guys? This is a dev. What are you guys chatting about?
Someone.
Why?
By the way,
What the?
I
What?
misgendered them. Oh, okay. I think I did the same when I when I met whatevs. I did. God damn it.
That is the carnival part 2. That's it. It's just the birthdays jester.
Yeah, this is gonna be
Reflourished player base drops to 0.
Someone leaked level 32.
by the way,
Damn
before the ship sails, since trapeze was mentioned again, I would like to mention one very major thing that was very problematic with animating trapeze, and you are not going to believe what it is.
I know what it is.
It's feet. It's feet.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Wasn't it with like the butter effect or something? I remember.
No, it was not the butter.
No, it's the size of the feet.
It was the size of the feet. They were too large. They were scaled incorrectly, and the entire animation was done with the giant feet.
I remember.
And so it was so close to finalization. Like at this point I was told that like keep the feet, but I couldn't live with the idea that I would let this atrocity in. So I went and I went back, I added normal size feet, and I had to reanimate the entire trio because of it.
Oh my god. Chloe's asking, we need to see this, release the feet cut.
Release the
feet cut.
Oh my god.
Now I'm gonna have to add trapeze feet into the thumbnail. I hope you're happy.
Oh
my god.
What else is gonna be on the thumbnail for this one?
Well, Camo absolutely gonna be here. Assault airspace, I think.
I mean, if I bring this up, boss, have you ever talked about like the card debacle on like QnA? The whole card effects debacle.
Oh, the card effects. Honestly, the card effects were not as bad as I labeled them when I had that one crash out in the VC.
All right, you better remember that because you gotta make more of them.
Yeah.
More crash outs.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Have
more
fun.
cards.
That crash out was
I think
so
that's
funny,
technically a
though.
confirmation of something, but no, it isn't. You guys didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, you didn't hear any of that.
We're erasing your memory. Erasing your memory.
It's just about asking for more crash outs because that was perfect voice acting material for Collisionist Carnival ambience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, the voice that you hear in the ambience, it's mine, and the dog is also mine.
And also
Nice
the
dog.
voice. There's also a voice from Sammy. How do you pronounce it?
Sammy or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
That crash out, by the way, I remember I joined into a VC and boss was working on like card effects, and he was kind of struggling with like a thing about particles, and I was like, oh well, it's probably not that bad. And then he went into like Joker mode, and he was like, oh, it's not that bad, is it? It's not that bad, is it? Let me show you. Let me show you what's.
Yeah, that happened.
How did this turn into feet? Oh boy.
You guys have fun with your feet, because I have to hop out now.
I'm gonna go in 5 minutes as well. This is wrapping up. Come on.
Well, I'm not gonna be here for the conclusion. I'm sorry, everyone. I have to die because I'm being murdered.
Well, I have found a photo.
They
A
have
pick
found
that
murder.
kills you. No, there's not gonna be a pick that kills you.
So here's a photo of our dog when he was a refugee in France. Long story.
Nice dog.
Yeah, that dog is in the Collisionist Carnival ambience.
Yeah,
Nice
he's
dog.
he's officially the Collisionist dog now.
Can you add in a cat? Do you have a cat
also-
you can add in?
I do have a cat. Yes.
Can you record him?
He isn't very talkative.
We could have Cat in another world ambience.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Also, the dog's name is Soup.
Soup, the dog.
Yeah, it's literally just Soup.
The dog.
I should eat soup.
Please don't eat him.
Don't
That's a
eat
crime.
Snoop.
Please let your Max go, Azazel, okay?
Alright, final 2 questions. Come on. Whoever asks first will be answered.
When will you be adding the new world? The new world.
Okay,
Carnival Part 2?
whoa, okay. Who was first? Hold on. There is any chances for an expansion for a Reflourished world obviously wouldn't be a priority. That was... I'm gonna skip over that one because that was already answered in a previous Q&A. But the short of it is, perhaps, when we have time. PeaMix question, is the Black Doom pick foreshadowing? No, that's a certain figure from the Bible.
The devil from the Bible. The devil from the Bible. That's what we are. We're the devils from the Bible. Did you know that?
Hey guys, it's me, the devil!
So you're Satan.
I'm here to
So
have
you're
you
Satan,
commit sin!
basically.
Do you like St. Patrick's Raw zombie? Yes, he is quite a good zombie. Okay,
Not to
I
be
will
mistaken
answer.
for the devil
I will
from
answer a
Cuphead.
few more that were already written out. No more, just the ones that were written already. What did you eat today? I actually ate the risotto that I gave the recipe for last time. No joke. I made it today and I ate it and it was pretty good.
Risotto's pretty good.
Is that it? Is that all of them?
I don't know. Someone asked you like,
was SpongeBob's laugh used in the CC Loose team? No. No.
No.
Someone asked, have y'all considered a non-zombie NPC, like a neighbor from an alternative universe? No, not from Oz.
Technically only one non-zombie NPC was considered, and that zombie is in the art for April Fools. Not to be mistaken with the devil from Cuphead, it's true.
Yes, the devil from Cuphead. We're talking about the devil from the Bible.
You should make a
like
live stream of you
Christianity?
making the result. No, I will not do that. I will not do that.
Why not?
Plus, you guys failed the QuickTime event. You didn't know.
You guys didn't even get my cat's name right.
Yeah, you don't deserve it.
How did you guys not get his name right?
Next Q&A will have a quiz
he
about
was
my
very
dog.
beloved. Everyone loves him.
If you
better
guys
remember
are
for the next time.
You
next
guys better do your homework. Next time I'll ask about my dog.
on
Yeah,
next
you better note down the
Q&A,
dog's name.
on next Q&A, if you guys get the dog's name right, I'll like live cook or something. I'll
Not just the dog, but also the context of the photo.
And also, you gotta get my kitten's name right. And you gotta
Alright.
get PeaMix's risotto recipe.
Well, I hope that was satisfactory. This is
I
where
did say my kitten's name. His name is Gilbert.
This is where the Q&A concludes. And since you just mentioned Gilbert, is Gilbert your real cat?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
everyone say hi to Gilbert.
Hi, Gilbert.
No.
Where is he?
Get out.
Where is he?
All right,
No.
and now now I say goodbye to everyone. This
I
has
can't find
been
him.
quite
He doesn't
an
know.
eventful question
I'm
and
rather
answer.
Garfield.
He
Good
hates me.
night, PeaMix.
All right,
Good